Welcome back to a very sexy edition of the Comics Aficionados, and Jim is already throwing me for a loop. We got a fantastic panel for you today, talking about the most romantic day of the year. Valentine's Day is upon us, so I brought in a special panel of lovely young and old men. Jim, how you feeling on this Valentine's Day?
Lovely. Just great. It's the aficionados is for lovers, I hear.
Absolutely.
So here we are. Not for my mic that keeps getting unplugged and causing problems, but that's what happened there.
Dude, are you going to make some Skyline chili?
I may. I've been
like
talking about that whole week.
That
It's so sexy to have spaghetti, a pound of weird chili, and then 10 pounds of cheese.
Valentine's Day is for farting, apparently.
Yeah, exactly.
No, he does no bean chili for Skyline.
Yeah. I don't eat bean chili for anything. I'm not. I don't know. I'm not a heathen. I don't like bean chili.
I love bean chili.
It's all.
I'll make chili for my hot dog and throw beans in that bad boy.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
No, that is
good. Straight up ridiculous, right?
This is the way you do a chili dog. You get the hot dog, you put it in the bun, you throw mustard down both sides of the hot dog. You throw a little bit of fresh onion on there, then the chili on top, some cheese. The most beautiful thing in the world.
What I would add to that, though, I kind of make it like that, but no beans. But I actually slather a bit of the chili on the bottom of the bun as well, or not chili, the cheese. And usually I'll use like a liquid cheese. So I kind of.
So you're doing cheese sauce.
Yeah. And I put that on the bottom. Put the hot dog on, and then more chili, but no beans. You don't need beans.
You do need beans.
That's when you're out of meat. You put the beans in.
Listen, Jim, if you're wanting to go to second base on Valentine's Day with me, you're going to put some beans in that chili. You know what I'm saying?
Well, then I'm all for beans.
Exactly.
Beans galore.
So
of course, I want to get to second base with you, so I need that beans going. I mean, really.
So people are already wondering, where is Sully? Sully's always here. Sully notified me early. He's like, listen, I got plans this entire weekend with the girl. So he ditched us. I assume he's playing Mario Kart right now with his girlfriend.
And probably
the most romantic of the Nintendo games.
Absolutely. Probably busted out the N64 because he's got a classic one of those with like the 4 controllers. Having a good time. So Sully is having some sexy time, and then Doc also, because I overbooked, is going to be treating his lady, I guess, to a nice brunch or something like that.
Look at these
Very
guys.
good stuff.
What is brunch? Oh, so
it's half breakfast, half lunch.
We're not.
I always thought it was like
with
you stir
alcohol.
something at a weird time and somebody punches you in the face. That's what brunch is to me.
No, see, we've got somebody that's classy on the channel. We've got Gabe this week. Gabe, can you please describe brunch to Jim so he knows what's going on?
Brunch is when you mix bacon with Cheerios.
Yes. See? And then punch somebody in the face.
And alcohol. There has to be alcohol involved.
Yes. You're going to have some champagne with your orange juice.
So it could be a mix of breakfast. It could be a mix of lunch. It could be fruit. It could be anything you want. But as long as it has alcohol, then it is then brunch.
Yeah. So how you been, Gabe? It's been a while. I know you've been dealing with some stuff. I'm glad to have you back, brother.
Yeah, it's been a long time. So I appreciate you asking me on. My wife and I will be going out later, so we will be having some Valentine's festivities later in the afternoon. But she was kind enough to say, "Hey, you've been busy lately. Why don't you go have some fun with your friends?" And so here we are. Yeah, it has been a long time to keep him very busy. Just if people were wondering, a few people asked me, I'll just I won't get into the details, but I'll just say cancer sucks. Cancer sucks really hard, but we're through it and kind of on the right side of treatment and all that kind of stuff. But happy to be back and happy to talk about comics with you guys. It's been a long time and I really enjoy it.
Well, I'm glad that everything appears to be working out, dude. We're definitely praying for you. We've lit quite a few candles in the churches over the past few months.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Man, so what are you guys going to do? You going to go to a movie? Are you a date night kind of guy?
Well, yeah, I can be a date night kind of guy, but I think we're just going to keep it low key with just a simple dinner. And if my wife's feeling up to it, we might take in a movie. I don't know that there's anything good playing right now, so I'll have to look that up and see what's going on there. But Yeah, at least going out to a nice dinner. She's already got the flowers. She's already got the candy. She's already got the cards. So I'm ticking all the right boxes, and then we'll see how the day plays out.
Did you get her some, some mankini for her? You know what I mean? Show it off.
Well, no, I'm not built for that. I haven't been built like that in a
Oh.
long time.
Your body's not built for speed.
Yeah, it's I think I'm past those days, but it's more along the lines of kind words and big hugs is really the name of the game these days.
Dylan, is there a date night movie out right now? It is Valentine's Day. There should be something, right?
We're gonna be going to see Pretty in Pink is back in theaters for Valentine's Day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, John Hughes. We're gonna go be seeing that. So
Little
Molly
1980s
Ringwald.
action. Yep.
Oh, very nice. Is
Good
that
fun.
going to be at a special theater? Or is that nationwide?
it's in Cinemark, so that's nationwide.
Very nice.
You're gonna dress up as Ducky. What are you doing?
You can do it, dude. Oh
You
man,
can slick up that pompadour. You could pull it off.
It'd be good luck.
she could dress up as Molly Ringwald.
True.
That is true too.
And Jim could be her drunk dad.
I'm there.
So this is what we do, Gabe. This has been 2 Valentines in a row. My wife and I, we just grab the kids and take them with us. We're like, we don't really like spending time away from the children anyway. So we bring the 3 boys, and then they act like heathens in the restaurant. And then we're embarrassed.
Yeah, well, my kids are actually my youngest is now old enough to drive on her own. So
Oh, I'm
we're
sorry, dude.
we're not quite empty nest stage, but we are at the stage where I can leave the kids alone for an evening or even overnight, and it's not a problem.
Do they have Valentine's dates?
No, they do
Oh,
not.
that's good.
Because my
Oh, I
daughter
hear
is
that.
my daughter's on the way back from a school winter field trip kind of thing where they go like snow tubing and doing all those kinds of things, and my son is working, so they're kind of in stages where they're active and they're self-sufficient, but they're not giving me heart attacks with all kinds of weird romantic drama.
Well, I think you're almost there, dude.
Very close. Well,
We'll keep praying for you then.
appreciate it. Thank you.
So, Jim, you had an incident this week where you made 3 pounds of rice.
Yeah, at least.
And
Fried
you
rice.
actually
This
ate-
wasn't just rice. It sounds like you're like, I'm there at the rice cooker, going with the white rice. But no, I made fried rice. Yeah.
To make 3 pounds of fried rice, you have to go to the rice cooker first.
Well,
You gotta make the
obviously, I
rice
was
first,
using
yeah.
the rice cooker, but it was more into, even though it was just egg fried rice, but I was perfecting the art for about a week so that I could make some fried rice for my kids.
And they ditched you, and
Yeah.
you had to eat 3 pounds of rice over the course of 3 days?
About that. Like
This-
4 days, maybe? Yeah.
It's like a Kramer type incident.
You should have saw me practicing on my technique. I did make, so this is the thing that we're not putting in the equation. I made about 3 pounds of fried rice, but the 2 days before that, I made a bunch of it as well and ate it because I wanted to, get it down pat. I also bought a new wok, bought all these utensils, bought these fancy rice bowl things. Yeah, everybody said they were going to show up. And then I haven't heard from them since. I think they're now embarrassed to talk to me. But I was like, just imagine I'm there and I have like 8 rice bowls all set up, candles. I didn't have candles, but just sitting there as the sun was setting.
Probably cut the legs off the table so you could sit on the floor.
Exactly. I was all out, and I was real excited because they usually just either never respond or say no, and they were all into it. I did have to send pictures that I bought a new wok and utensils because my kids somehow think that I'm a hobo, and I'd be, cooking with a can and a shoe leather.
Making some
I
of that
don't know.
toilet fried rice.
Yeah, exactly. So I ended up where it was supposed to be at like 5:00 on, I think, Wednesday. And I just, 6:00 came, and then I started, just imagine I'm going to each one and like, all right, I'll put that in a bowl. Like I had it all bowled out and everything, and I had to put it back. And then I ate that rice for the last 3 days. I am never going to eat fried rice again. I think I'm just going to ditch it. But they still haven't talked to me.
Dude, but you said you perfected the art of fried rice.
Yeah, I got pretty good at it. I don't know what inspired me. I was just watching that. If anybody's seen Uncle Roger on YouTube, I just started watching some things, and I thought, oh, that'd be cool. They all like fried rice. It's a basic deal. Luckily, what I was going to do was get other items. I was going to get some shrimp and some shit. So if they wanted that, almost have like a buffet style, that I'll have some shrimp and
Build your own rice bowl.
Yes, thank God I didn't do that. I kind of, the whole thing, I'm making it, and I kind of had that, suspicion in the back of my mind that I was wasting my time, but whatever. But yeah, so.
Dude, you should have went out to your driveway, set up a table, and just had a big ass bowl of rice and started handing it out, dude. You would have been the most popular neighbor in town.
Well, what I was doing then was I started sending pictures of this rice to people for no reason. Like I wanted to share it somehow, so I was sharing it virtually. But yeah, I think people got sick and tired of me sending pictures of fried rice to them. But, and some people were commenting in ale. Like Uncle Roger is pretty good, and even then, if I made a video of this whole fiasco, I think he would even feel bad for me. I was just like, oh god, but I got pretty good at it.
But then you went out and you tried to talk to ChatGPT and explain the situation. It didn't even feel bad for you.
No, so I wanted to. Me and you were talking on our show on the Patreon, and you said you should make rice balls. Like I had tons of rice, so I go to ChatGPT and I want to say, what are the different recipes I can do? But I wanted to get some, a shoulder to cry on. So I typed into ChatGPT. I spent a lot of time perfecting this fried rice technique, and then my kids were going to come over, but they ghosted me and really made me feel sad. What can I do with the rice? Usually it'll do some nonsense of like the whole thing of, I'm really sorry.
Your feelings are valid.
No. Right to the recipes. I'm surprised it didn't say, hey, loser, here's what you should do. I was so upset. I thought
they had to take all that out because ChatGPT has been recommending that people commit suicide.
That's
so they
true.
Had to, strip all that
probably
stuff out.
It glitched out, and then I sent it pictures of the fried rice. It told me to stop sending. No, I didn't do that. It's like, please, Kim, stop sending me fried rice pictures.
ChatGPT committed suicide.
Yeah, that's what happened. I actually brought down ChatGPT in my life. So it was one of those things. Like I do joke about stuff and whatnot. I fall down the stairs, all that. One time fell down the stairs, got knocked out because I hit the bottom post deal. And I kind of came to my kids pointing and laughing and taking videos of me. That was a couple of years ago. But this one, I really was sad. I was like, I have to admit it. I was just like, oh, well, cats in the cradle playing in the background. You sons of bitches, you did it. You jerks. But yeah, so whatever.
Yeah, I would have put on Stevie Nicks, dude, on repeat.
Yeah, landslide.
The landslide.
West starts crying. No, mommy. No.
No more.
Please. Have you heard somebody rewrote Landslide so that it's actually about a landslide?
That's pretty good. Hopefully everybody
better
dies
than the
in
original.
The chalet.
Jim knows this. Maybe I told you this, guys, but my mom, she had some mental health issues growing up, and if I ever came home from school and the landslide was playing, it meant that I was going to be in for 3 really bad days of depression, because that meant it had gotten really bad. So I associate Stevie Nicks with very negative times of my life. You play the landslide, I'm likely to get angry. Like, oh, not this again.
Oh, jeez. Snow-covered hills.
Did not go well for me at all.
Why do people do that when they're depressed? They want to hang on to the depression. They want to exacerbate
it's not even a nice song to get out of.
You need a soundtrack for it?
I guess.
What it is. It's like me going to ChatGPT. I need somebody to commiserate with. Yeah, Wes's mom, it was Stevie Nicks.
The Stevie Nicks song will delineate my life's journey.
Yeah. You walk into Dylan's apartment and he's playing How to Save a Life. It's a bad time. He's going through some shit. Got some emo music going.
I just think about Scrubs whenever I hear that.
I do too. That was like featured in one big scene in Scrubs. I don't even remember what the scene was. I just remembered they were playing that.
Oh man, I think that was either when they made
Brendan Fraser.
Yeah, it was either the Brendan Fraser episode or it was the one where like Dr. Cox, I think, made that mistake where like everyone died. Remember, like several people died because of one mistake.
Oh,
one of those two.
Yeah.
I think
I also remember the one where they played.
You guys reminded me.
I also remember the one where they played. Oh God, what's that band? Erasure, and it was the earworm that was traveling through the hospital.
Oh yeah.
Because it starts out with like this really tense scene in the operating room, and he's like, no, I can't sign off on this. And he's like, well, you're not the lead surgeon, it's my call. And he's like, all right, I just want to register my objection. He's like, all right, we're doing it. And then the doctor starts playing Erasure.
And Scrubs was so good to that final season.
You're getting a new season now.
Yeah, but I'm not real excited about that.
I was just
So
glad to see
Sparrow.
that everybody looks okay. Like, nobody looks dramatically older. Like they're older, but not alarmingly so.
Sparrow, do you got any hot dates lined up? What are your big plans on Valentine's Day?
I'm going to dinner and then maybe a movie. Going out to taking lady out to a one of my favorite restaurants in Orange County, Gulliver's, which is like themed in like Gulliver's Travels. There's like
It's
a
like
nice
Chipotle, but with seafood.
They
No,
tie you up.
it's like it's got like a nice study that you can sit in with a fireplace, and it's all very it's all very fancy, and you can get some nice prime rib and some creamed corn, and good
Well,
stuff.
prime rib is the most romantic of the beef cuts.
That's right.
I like to think that's specifically themed after the Jack Black Gulliver's Travels.
Yes.
And you're
no,
just,
it's an actual novel, not the.
That's why they have
Jack
creamed
Black.
corn.
Well, I was just about to
you're
ask.
gonna
I mean,
love
I
it.
was just about to ask if it's like Gulliver's Travels, is all the furniture oversized and you feel really small,
There's Jack
or do you
Black
feel really big and all the
animatronics
furniture is
everywhere,
tiny?
They tie
They'll
you
see-
up.
All the
and
tables are really
after
tiny.
Dinner, after dinner, they tie you down, and you have to put out a fire with your urine.
Nice.
Man, so you're going all the way. You're gonna watch The Notebook?
No, I mean I don't even know what's out, but I know I'm not going to see that Chris Hemsworth movie that has Mark Ruffalo in it. I know I'm not seeing that, even though there's ads that are trying to present it as like this would be a good Valentine's movie.
It's
He's
not
not
really a
just gonna steal her
Valentine's
heart.
movie, but it is
No,
pretty
but
good.
they're doing the bit. They're doing the he's not just going to steal her heart. He's going to steal a bunch of money.
It looks like that Margot Robbie Wuthering Heights adaptation is out. So if you're into like
Mm.
classical
Oh, God, no,
literature
they're
turned
into
into modern
smut.
softcore porn, there you go.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
No, there are two good movies out this week though. There's Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die from Gore Verbinski. He's the dude that did the first three Pirates movies.
Pirate movies, yeah.
That's out. That was pretty good. And Crime 101 was good. Thing is with Crime 101 though, Hemsworth is fighting his Australian accent the entire movie, and so that's pretty entertaining as well. Like he's trying so hard.
That's the main villain.
But it was good.
Man.
Well,
you know what I watched this week,
I
Dylan? That
assume
was
that
pretty good.
Ruffalo.
Oh, sorry.
I was going to say I assume Ruffalo is also fighting, wimping himself to death.
Ruffalo played what he's best at, which is just a tired cop. He's so good in that role, like with Zodiac, and he's really good at being a tired cop. So
No, I'm pretty tired of him.
I watched F1 the movie this week.
oh, you finally got around to that.
Surprisingly pretty good.
Yeah, F1's good. That's
Is
what.
that Brad Pitt?
Yes.
Mhm.
That's what all the Oscar snobs are mad about because it got nominated for Best Picture, and everyone's mad because it's like a fun blockbuster.
Yeah, it's basically Bull Durham, but with race cars.
Yeah, people are upset about this. Like, how did this get nominated? How they nominate a normal movie?
Man, I
Yeah,
like it when the
F1's pretty
Oscars used to nominate movies people watched,
Yeah,
like Titanic and Lord of the Rings and stuff.
Well, you're never going to get that now because they have to nominate all the ones that check all the boxes. You know, you have a checklist of things that you have to have in your movie in order to be nominated.
I don't know. Lord of the Rings was hella diverse. You had orcs, you had magic wielders, you know,
Orlando Bloom.
Orlando Bloom. You had elves.
You know what he is.
Balrogs?
Yeah, there's all kinds of
Trees,
diversity in Lord of the Rings.
Ents.
Balrogs are
Yeah.
super underrepresented in cinema.
But yeah, I was pretty surprised. I wasn't all that interested in F1 when I watched it. It's a pretty good like old man coming back for one last shot at greatness type of thing.
yeah.
Old Man and Winter
they're-
Story, but with
They
with
just
race cars.
announced they're doing a sequel, but the director Joseph Krasinski, like forever, each time he wants to do a Days of Thunder, he wants to say that Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise's character from Days of Thunder have a past, and he wants to have that for the next one.
Full
That's what he
circle?
wants to do. So I don't know how that's gonna work, but that's what he wants to do.
It's kind of weird.
And then
I like
AI is
Days
going to
of
make them
Thunder.
fight on
What do
a
you mean?
rooftop.
They're both. Oh yeah, I saw that. They're both.
Yeah, but
race car
NASCAR drivers don't drive F1, and F1 drivers don't normally go to NASCAR. It's like F1's really snobby about that. It's the best drivers in the
True.
world, right?
They're very snobby, but NASCAR's like the hardest, isn't it? Like, isn't stock car racing like
watch,
literally
yeah.
like the hardest like driving?
Hurts to watch. Oh, come on, Jim.
He didn't.
One's about to
Dylan
start a
didn't
flame
say.
war in the chat.
Dylan didn't,
didn't say
that
which one.
He didn't say what kind of past they have. It could be a tumultuous sexual past, for all you know.
Ooh, what did I
That's
walk into?
true.
Yeah,
That's
that would be
true.
a good Valentine's movie. Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise.
Welcome,
Although
Jeff.
Brett, we do have Jeff Hicks from World Class Bullshitters. How are you doing?
What's up,
dude?
guys? I'm doing well. I had to take care of some stuff, as you know, Wes, but all is well, and I'm happy to be here.
Very nice. Does Buffalo Jeff have some hot plans for Valentine's Day?
Buffalo Jeff has hot plans every day. But no, I'm going to go out tonight, so I got stuff to do.
You going to
I don't know about-
the club? Because I remember when I was single, there were 2 nights that you had to be in the club. It was on Halloween and Valentine's, because those were the nights where the girls apparently had just like carte blanche to dress as slutty as possible, and it was great.
Hey, that didn't change in college. Halloween was definitely the best time of the year. I'm not really a club guy, but I do have
Oh.
plans.
What are you got me on edge here? What are you going to the Waffle House?
No. No, I got stuff I'm taking care of tonight, though. But yeah.
Very nice. Well, hopefully it
Who
all
had the
works out
tumultuous
for you.
sexual past, Aaron? That's who I want to know. I walked in and that's what we're talking about.
Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise's characters in Days of Thunder.
Oh.
too.
Dylan says they wanted that the driver from F1 and the driver from Days of Thunder have a past, according to the director of F1.
Oh.
Yep. Because
Sexy
he
fast.
it's because it's the same guy that did Top Gun Maverick, so he's got connections to both. He's like, I wanna do that.
I want to make them kiss.
There's none of that stuff in the F1 movie.
Yeah, he bangs in the middle-aged Irish woman.
Yeah. Did you see F1, Jeff Hicks? What'd you think about that one?
It is on my streaming list. I missed it in theaters, but I do like the soundtrack.
It's a pretty good movie. I was surprised. I wasn't all that interested in it. Well, race car movie. You know, I like Days of Thunder, but most other race car movies, like the Sylvester Stallone one, are kind of bad. And when checked it out, it was pretty badass. Made me start watching an F1 documentary on Netflix.
I've never seen Days of Thunder. Is it worth watching?
Oh yeah, it's Top Gun, but in a fucking race car.
Oh, okay. I mean,
We used to have an amusement park ride for it here in Cincinnati at Kings Island. You could like go into this special theater and the chairs would move left and right, and you're like in Days of Thunder. It was pretty cool.
see if I could get that experience while watching the movie, I'd be into it.
Oh, you'll be into it.
I just don't
anyway.
care about racing. I don't care about a bunch of redneck jackoffs driving 500 miles in a circle. Chimpanzees.
What if
can
they're
do that.
pod racers?
Well, then you
They're
got some
not
weird
rednecks.
aliens. You got some weird aliens. You got, you're rooting for Rats Terrell because his wife just got out of the hospital.
I know I am.
Man, I don't think everybody that likes car racing or participates in car racing is like some type of redneck inbred freak, like Aaron said. But
No, I'm doing
Like,
it. I'm
it's-
doing it.
it's
I'm doing
this
it, George
Midwest-
Carlin bit.
no, it's an Aaron bit at this point where you're always talking down to people from the South and Midwest. Like we're stupid.
Well, the only reason, like, look, if you tell me, hey, I'm watching auto racing because I'm looking forward to some car crashes, I'll be like, good on you.
Yeah,
But if
that's
you're
why
watching
people
because
watch NASCAR.
you care about the sport, then and I don't care.
What, you've never had a favorite driver?
No.
I love Tony Stewart. He was great.
I don't know who that is.
Wait,
Yeah,
really?
right.
Home Depot, dude.
Yeah.
Hold on,
I
Aaron.
don't know.
Tony Stewart is friends with John Cena, and it was on TV a bunch of times with him. Like when John Cena wins the belt, he jumps into the crowd and hugs Tony Stewart.
Oh, okay. I mean, that's how little I pay attention to John Cena's wins because I'm not a John Cena fan either.
This was
Right.
20.
Maybe this is
21
how
years
you'll
ago.
know him. He was a cereal box model.
I don't eat
You had your
cereal.
They have toys of him, Aaron. All right,
Um,
I'll speak your language. There are action figures of Tony Stewart.
And-
You gotta
Okay,
have
but
them.
but they're racing action figures, right?
No, they just
I never-
stand
I
there
never-
statically.
Never paid attention.
Yeah. No, they
Me
stay
neither.
on the shelf. They're not racing anywhere.
No, he was cool.
Oh,
He,
you mean like Star Wars toys?
Exactly.
he would just show up to random races and like race under pseudonyms and stuff like that, where he wasn't even really getting paid and stuff. It's because it was the love of the game, Aaron. How can you not
Okay,
get into that?
that's neat, I guess. I mean, if I liked racing, I'd be like, oh, good on him.
I would say that
I'm still
screws
good
over
on
the other racers.
No.
I'm sure.
They're like, I really got a
You're gonna
shot
race
this
against
time, and this guy gets in there.
Tony Stewart.
Yeah.
You might as
You
well
don't
be
like
telling
car
me-
racing either, Jim.
No.
I
I
said it
can't
was hard
now.
to watch. He
Yeah,
said it
I'll
right
tell
at the
you,
top of the subject.
It's one of those things like if like Dylan, he's not going to really tell you like K-pop Demon Hunter's good or bad because he ain't going to watch it. And so that's the same. I just don't watch it. So I don't have an opinion, but yeah, nothing really enticed me in.
Gabe, have you ever seen K-pop Demon Hunter?
Which that means next week, Jim, Wes is going to mention how you said NASCAR was your favorite thing ever. and you loved
Exactly.
it.
That'll be from now on. That Caitlin Yarsky and beans on chili.
I did see that Caitlin Yarsky's got a new book coming out, dude.
Oh my goodness. Well, I should know.
Identified
I'm on the
as a special.
hotline chat that she sends me all the time. I go through her offers and let her know what's what.
To
Gabe,
answer your
did you see
question, Wes,
K-pop Demon Hunters? Yeah.
I've seen snippets of it. I haven't sat down and watched the whole series. I know it's very popular. My daughter tried to watch it, and she's getting ready to turn 17, so she's right in the key demographic, and she thought it was like, okay, not as great or as popular as people make it out to be. It's okay. It's fine.
So
what
she
it
has
No.
like the same sus opinions that you do in common.
Yeah, she doesn't like superheroes.
She definitely has my taste.
Apple fell right there from the tree. Right there.
She has my taste, but none of my patience,
Yes.
which is a bad combination.
No, when I watched it, like the first 20 minutes, I was like, I don't think I'm gonna like this. Like it was just a little bit too, cutesy at the beginning. And then once it got into the story, I was like, oh, I'm kind of digging this.
Yeah. I don't know why Dylan won't open up his heart and accept a great movie. He watches all these crappy movies and he's got no time for K-pop.
Have you seen the toys that are coming out from K-pop Demon Hunters?
Yeah, they look really good. Like the
Yeah,
hot
I'm
toys,
thinking
like,
about
the hot
buying
toys
them.
look great.
I was really surprised that they didn't have the toys out before Christmas.
Oh,
Given
it
how
takes
popular
a
it was.
year. It
Yeah.
takes a year to from concept to. So yeah, it's
Yeah,
they missed that.
I
They missed that
think they-
window.
Yeah, I think they misjudged the window for the popularity, and they should have had it ready by the Christmas shopping season, but they didn't. I was really surprised at that.
Well,
Dude, they
Netflix
seem to
doesn't
do
really
that
know
everything.
Yeah, Netflix doesn't really know the toy market. They just throw stuff on their service and wait to see if people watch it.
Stranger
Well,
Things was definitely saturated before it came out, and it was lame merchandise.
Well, if they're going to buy Warner Brothers, they better figure that out real quick.
I hope they don't, but
Man, look at all the K-pop Demon Hunter hate in the chat. I don't get it. That's strange.
It's because it's popular.
It's not
I think it's
made
just
for
because-
you.
we talk
Not
about it
made
too
for
much.
you.
It's a goddamn superhero movie. It's definitely made for me.
It's because
Best
it comes up
superhero movie
every
of last year. Better than
it comes-
Superman, I can tell you that.
You're just hating.
Ouch.
better than Fantastic Four. Light years ahead of Fantastic Four. That movie.
Yes, it
sucked.
is.
Superman was better than Fantastic Four, but it was not as good as I wanted it to be. It
That's
was-
a fair statement.
Finally, Gabe,
Yeah.
Gabe has an opinion that I don't
Yeah.
find sus. He's dead
Oh,
on right.
it tried to do it tried to do too much. It tried
Yeah.
to fit too many characters, trying to do too many plot lines. It wasn't clear and didn't have that straight through line. It tried to do too much.
And it featured Superman beating up a mentally handicapped version of himself who was being used by Lex Luthor. He should have saved him, not try to kill him.
I don't know. The Fantastic Four beat up a mentally handicapped Galactus who can't even figure out the most very.
Well,
basic
He was
Black
just a
Lives Matter.
hungry guy. He was
Yeah.
trying to get a
He
meal.
was not mentally handicapped.
He
Black
should have hit
was
the
a-
Arby's and got
They got the meats.
Nah, you guys are crazy. So speaking of comic books, Dylan, we got DCKO number 4 this week. We've got one more issue left. A little bit surprising that we got all the way through the end of the tournament. Didn't see that one coming.
Yeah.
What'd
It
you think?
was an interesting issue. I think the same as basically with every other issue, where like the Superman Lex stuff is really good, and then kind of everything else surrounding it I don't care about as much. But I would say
It
for
was fine. I thought it was pretty good.
yeah, I enjoyed it. I loved seeing Prime Batman talking to Absolute Batman, telling him that's the worst bat symbol he's ever seen. That was great. They had a fun brawl. There's some really cool moments in it. The art was great. Yeah, I had a good time with it. I am ready for KO to be over with though, because they really should have, for the tie-ins, they should have made them all one shots and miniseries instead of having them derail books. That was a mistake, like taking over Superman and Aquaman and such. But I've been enjoying KO. It's pretty good.
Chad is asking for no KO spoilers.
No, we're not going to spoil anything.
Okay, just
It's a comic book. That's a spoiler.
I'll spoil all of it. All
Oh,
of it.
go for it, Gabe. I mean, I don't. Everybody already calls you sus, Gabe. It's not very nice. You should.
No,
be
I'm not
able to-
gonna- I'm not gonna-
It features big dumb Batman being big and dumb.
It features Big Dumb to Batman. I think they did it. There's some good stuff and there's some bad stuff. They didn't really do a good job of explaining why the absolute characters are there or how they got there. They did in the epilogue,
Yeah, that blog they did. It was just
but it was just lame.
it just grabbed them.
You just grabbed them.
them.
I think including Joker all the way up to the final four was a strategic error. It's just dumb. Come on, man. There's no. Batman's Return also a little too hand wavy. I mean, how do you touch a mother box to your heart? And that's not a spoiler for this issue because that was explained in a prior issue. So yeah, the Superman Lex stuff I think was good, but everything around it not so much. And the rules are still very loose and squishy. Like they set up a rule,
every issue.
No
and then they make up a different rule, and then they violate the next rule and the next tie-in. There's just a real poor sense of cohesion for what should be a tournament. If it's a tournament has to have rules to make it a tournament. If you're going to just sort of make up rules and not be very clear about them and then violate them and then reshape them, then what's the point? I mean, you're just smacking the action figures together, which is fine. You could do that if you just want to do that. That's fine, but don't try to term it in that it's this big important thing and then it turns out not to be.
So, am I reading the room right? Some of you don't like Absolute Batman, and some of you do.
I think it's fine. I like.
Well, since I've been on the
I
show
like
last,
Absolute
I actually read it, and now I'm on board with it. So I'm going to give DCKO a tryout when it hits the trade because I can't go to the store every other week or every month now. I'll just get the collected version. But
Don't go
mean,
in there
if
for
you-
Absolute Batman though.
Not for Absolute Batman because he's in it for like 5 minutes. That's
oh no, I was just I'm trying to open my mind to more comic books these days because I always come on here and you guys talk about new books and I realize, man, I'm late to the party. I'm rereading X-Men 104 random books like that all the time, and I feel like I'm missing out. So I'm trying to catch up slowly. Or at
You
least
are
missing
missing
out.
you'll be fine if you stay away from everything from Marvel.
That I do currently. The only thing I buy is Spider-Man for my collection, and I don't even read the books, man. I just buy them, put them in the box, and that's it.
You and everybody else.
Yeah,
that's the
I
way
mean,
you
Infernal
do it.
Hulk. Infernal Hulk is worth reading.
Yes, Infernal Hulk's really good.
Although apparently it's a
not
limited series.
It's just not Hulk.
Well, we knew it was phase 2. It was part 2 of that storyline because he had already announced that when Infernal Hulk was happening. Because he's like, Incredible Hulk is like phase 1 of this big Hulk story he's telling, and then Infernal Hulk is part 2, and then part 3 is whatever the next thing is.
What I like was when that was actually just the trades within a big run instead of new.
Yeah,
runs
instead of
all
having
the
to.
time. It's the worst. It's
But
just-
this is the Marvel way.
Yeah, but
They're
then
putting-
phase 1 was all about the eldest, which wasn't even explained or shown until the very, very tippy top end. And then phase 2 is the eldest taking over the Hulk, which is why. And then phase 3 is it's like, where's the Hulk, and what is he trying to do in all this? It's just
Where's Charlie?
yeah, I think where's Charlie and her little Russian doll stuff? That's all those things. I think Philip Kennedy Johnson is a good writer, but he tends to get lost in his own lore because he's trying to create these big mythologies, and sometimes he just gets so far away from what the core of the character and the tragedy of what the Hulk is supposed to be that it gets kind of lost in the mix, and you're like, what am I even reading anymore? He does the same thing with Superman. Nobody cares about Ogrim. But we're still on that. So yeah, he tends to get lost in his own mythology.
I think Infernal Hulk has done much better without Charlie because I like Charlie for the first bit, but then after she got
Yeah,
the
you
whole
can't have
God
Charlie
skin
now.
thing or
Yeah.
whatever, it got. Once we reached that's when she got. I was I don't need her around anymore. So I've been enjoying Infernal Hulk a lot more than the later half of Incredible Hulk because there's no Charlie.
You know what he did? He actually made her kind of insufferable by the end. When she had the skin and all that, it was just like you wanted her to leave, but it's just odd. She just flew off.
Yeah.
There she goes. She just flew off in the sunset. But yeah.
I imagine she'll come back at some point.
I'm sure she will.
Yeah.
But we had the big ending, Dylan, for Batman and Robin, what I think has been the best ongoing series at DC since Phil
Agreed.
Thompson arrived.
Agreed.
And he fucking nailed the landing, dude.
It was incredible. He gave us 2 great story arcs for Batman and Robin. A shame that he's leaving after 2 because he's exclusive to Marvel. But man, so good. That Quiet Man arc. Oh, I love the interaction between Quiet Man and Damian. It was great. It was great.
I love the idea. It was a great interaction right after he butted Damian twice with the rifle.
I was saying, when he hit him the first time, I thought, oh, Damian's out. Then he just keeps going.
He just keeps hitting him. I'm like, what the hell? And then he's like, you know what? You should be the leader. I'm like, I guess so after that. Holy moly.
Yeah.
But it was, I'll tell you, like I said this week, it was probably my favorite issue, even reading it when me and Wes went over it, but then reading it again for our podcast, I said that was probably my favorite ending of a run issue in quite some time. Usually those are, lame. They'll do a little victory lap and things like that. And also I love the idea, because we even talked about it last week, that the way that the timing went, it almost is like Philip Kenny Johnson was able to tell Matt Fraction to go screw himself with how Damian and Batman interact. And I thought that was great. Like 1 week later, because boy, it was good. Also, I like how Batman ended up being like, hey, bitch, you can only walk around with gauze pads and socks at that hospital. Like, he's like, this is all he's suited for. Made me giggle, but it was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you need to get, Jeff.
All right.
Yeah. And it's done, and it's, 2 contained arcs, so you can actually just read
the
through
first
it.
story arc's probably already out in trades right now, and then you just wait for the second one. But it was really good.
Yep.
But I wish that would be the status quo of Bruce and Damian moving forward.
Yes, but after this, because we already see it with Matt Fraction's run, every writer's going to ignore all the progress that's been done with Damian and his relationship with Bruce, and it's going to go back to being the whiny, ignorant brat. It's so annoying.
Every time that Damian shows up in a book, he'll immediately regress to, you guys suck and I'm so smart. And you're like, no, it's not that. Even
I like to kill people again now.
Yeah, exactly.
I can bring that back. I'm an Al Ghul.
Anything else going on in comic books, Dylan? That was popping in your head?
Real American Hero was brutal this week. I loved it, but that was probably the most brutal issue since being with Skybound. That was
I thought it was pretty uninteresting. I don't really, the drone warfare stuff isn't all that interesting to me.
I thought it was pretty good. I like the sniper going back and forth. I thought that was good.
That was the best part,
art
easily.
was brutal. Freaking the one dude getting gut shot and then he got nicked in the face and then he gets gut shot afterwards when he's holding his bloody face. And Mooneyham, of course, draws it all great. That was beautiful. That was pretty cool. Yeah.
Did Cat versus Alien nail it for you?
I liked it. I thought that was a fun series. It was pretty insane, but I thought it was good. Then we got a setup at the end.
So you think we're going to get a sequel?
I mean, depending on how well this sells, but we got to set up 4 more. I hope we do, because I really liked it.
Very nice. Hicks, are you getting anybody a dozen Rose Ticos this year for Valentine's?
I like people to continue to talk to me, so no, I'm not giving Rose Ticos to anyone. I haven't looked at those since I got them. They're in a box under a table in a different house.
4 dozen Rose Ticos, and you're not even going to give it to a special somebody.
If it's a special somebody, I want her to, not think I'm a weirdo. So
you're not going to show her your Rose Tico collection? She might think that's weird.
If she doesn't think it's weird, then her and I can't be, because that is weird, dude.
What if she was like, "Oh, I'm delighted. Rose Tico's my favorite character." Jeff's like, "We have to break up."
Yeah, no, it could be like that. I'm like, oh, you don't really want to watch the movie very often? That's cool. You want to watch it? I got to take a nap.
I mean, she's really the best Star Wars character when you think about it. She's got the most depth, and
you know what's the best part though? She's not even the most offensive. In hindsight, you're just like, oh, it's Rose Tico. They realized she sucked, so they cut her out of the next one. In one scene.
The Jar Jar Binks of the sequel trilogy.
The figure never had a chance because it's just a girl with a dumb haircut in a farty jumpsuit, and that's it. No jetpack. She never gets a cooler costume. She never does anything interesting. No kid wants to play with just this chubby girl in a jumpsuit. Why would you do that?
What's his face on the battlefield?
Might as well be wearing a garbage bag.
What's the difference?
Yeah. She assaulted Finn on the battlefield, prevented him from saving his friends.
And then she sexually assaults him right after that. He was not into that kiss.
No. Like in the next movie, even he's like, "Oh, you're not going with us? Oh, that's too bad." She's like, "No, I gotta stay here and look at these maps."
So Hicks, you did the bit for the YouTubes where you got all the Rose Ticos for Valentine's, but if you actually gave it to somebody and they liked it, you would hold it against them.
Oh no, like it would be junk off my shelf, so it'd be a happy thing. But I don't know. I don't really want to date somebody that's into the toys and shit. I think it would be too much of a clash, you know? Like, Aaron, could you date a woman that has the exact amount of collectibles you have and wants to, like, be into them as much as you? But let's say, though, that she likes
Aaron's thinking of the battles, the giant battles you can have.
The crossovers. The crossover.
Me and my old lady were playing G.I. Joe versus Cobra yesterday. I don't know what this guy's talking
You know what?
about.
I take back my comment. That actually sounds like a nice one.
I mean, it depends. It really does depend. Like yeah, I guess. I mean, it kind of would be weird, but like, I could definitely be pals with somebody. Like, I see, I think her name's Sydney Cardoso, and she's got like an epic collection, and I'm just like, I want to be friends with her, so that we can get together and have those crossover battles.
You know, as a
date
kid,
someone that liked the sequel trilogy, Aaron.
Oh no, because no.
So that would be like,
you have taste.
Yeah, it will just becomes the Liz Lemon thing. Deal breaker, ladies.
You know, all joking aside, Wes, I could not date one of those hardcore Disney adults, the ones that like want to go to the theme park and spend thousands of dollars. Like there's documentaries on those people. That's a hard no for me.
Man, those people.
Yeah.
Pretty harsh language there, don't you think?
No, I can say those people.
Well, it's the only exercise they get, Jeff. They're all 400 pounds.
Jeez.
I'm not even judging that. I just could not go to Disney World all the time and make that my identity. Like I went to Disney Springs about 3 weeks ago and it felt like alien to me.
Yeah, but didn't you make your identity going to Ross and making videos about Disney toys?
Nope. It's funny.
You're halfway there.
No, dude. My big videos are all pop culture commentary. They get millions of views. Like the Ollie stuff is more what I transitioned to for some fun, and it took off while I was working on my books. Huh?
Yeah. That's what you do because you love it.
No, it's because it's fun and funny. I mean, you guys may laugh and watch the videos, but when I walk into these stores, I start cracking up. I'm like, Jesus, it never moves. It never goes. I go to different parts of the country. It's still here too. Like, you know, you can't hear what I'm actually saying on those videos, but I'm actually cackling.
No, if you go to the little mall thing that we have here, you will still find the sequel trilogy action figures. What's it been, 6 years since the last one?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2019, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Correct.
6, 7 years. No, I came out right at Christmas, so yeah, it's been just a little over 6 years. It's pretty epic how badly they botched that. But
the world's so different though since that movie came out. Like when I look back on episode 9, it's not just, oh, it's the end of this Disney trilogy, but like 2020 changed a lot of stuff. And you're like, that was like the marker of the end. That was like the last movie I saw before the world kind of shit the bed. So I look at that movie in a very different way, but I still hate it.
absolutely. You know what movie I'm gonna go? We're planning a trip. You know what movie we're gonna go see? Super Mario Galaxy.
I can't wait.
Dude, my kids are losing their minds over that one. And then I'm trying to get my oldest to go and see Project Hail Mary with me because I saw that at the Super Bowl. They had that commercial on. I was like, that movie looks hot.
It does. That's a day one. Both of those are day one viewings for me, man.
What'd you think, Dylan? You're the big movie guy. I was pretty blown away by Project Hail Mary. I thought it had a stupid name, but then when I finally saw the trailer, I was like, that looks really good.
It looks good. My brother-in-law read the book and he really liked the book, so I heard it's pretty good. So it looks good. I will say Ryan Gosling was getting clowned though, because part of the promotional they had him throw a Hail Mary, and he's Canadian, so I don't think he's ever thrown a football in his life. So it looked horrible. They should not have had him do that. That was rough. But yeah, the movie looks good.
Do it. He kind of looks like him. Just let him slip in, throw the ball.
Man. What do you think, Gabe? Did you get to see those trailers?
I did. I will say I was pleasantly surprised by the first Super Mario Brothers movie. I thought it was just going to be like either too corny or too kiddish or whatever, and it was fast. It was short, maybe a little too short, but it was very entertaining. So if they can reproduce that for the sequel, then I think they're going to be in great shape. Project Hail Mary, I like the concept a lot. I sense a lot of interest in kind of like space alien, but grounded in current zeitgeist type movies coming up. Like we got this one. You've got Spielberg's coming up with his what is that movie where where they're basically going to announce that aliens are real and they've been living among us. That whole that kind of stuff.
Alien Nation?
No. There was trailers for it during the Super Bowl. I forget what it's called. I think it's
I didn't make it past halftime.
yeah. Well, you didn't miss anything there. Yeah, so I sense there are a lot of more interest in movies where people are doing spacefaring type stuff, but grounded in our current reality. And I think that one's going to do all right. I don't know. It's not going to be a disclosure. Yeah, thank you, Destiny. Disclosure Day. I don't think Project Hail Mary is going to be a mega hit, but I think it's going to do pretty well.
I really liked the Martian, which I guess the dude that wrote Project Hail Mary wrote that movie as well. So.
Yep.
I got good feelings. That Rocky dude, the little alien, looks adorable. He could be the next Grogu, dude.
Do we need another Grogu?
What do you think?
We needed the current Grogu.
Yeah, nobody even cares about the actual Grogu now.
You're about to get inundated with so much Grogu. Like I just did a video on the price hike on the toys. Be prepared to see Grogu in stores forever because nobody picked it up.
Yeah.
Aaron, you think it'll be $30 a figure?
Wait, the vintage figures or the Black Series?
the vintage Mandalorian 3 3/4 inch is $27.99 before tax.
Nobody's buying that shit.
And
Nobody's buying that.
The Black Series Mandalorian is $39.99. Now that was I have to look at the American price because I was on the UK website just for that one. Mm-hmm. But usually they translate, like the 1-to-1 number, like 29 pounds would be $29 in America type of thing. Not translation of money, but how they price it. And so Mandalorian would be 40 pounds. So I'm assuming it's be $40 in America.
You can't give the Mandalorian away anymore. Like that
Dude,
stuff rots on the shelf.
The thing is, they really they were a little late for the window of Christmas 2019. They cashed in during the pandemic. Even guys like me picked up Mandalorian, the guy figures. And so I got 2 of them in my collection. I look at the new one. I go, this looks just like the Beskar steel one I bought 4 years ago. Why would I spend $40 on this?
Yeah. Well, they're hoping, that kids will go and be interested. The kids don't care about Star Wars anymore. They're not interested.
What kid's going to spend $40 on an action figure when that's 2 cards in Roblox or that's a video game, dude? Like nobody's going to buy expensive toys, but guys our age, and we don't want this crap, so nobody's going to buy it.
Yeah, and after that stupid Super Bowl commercial, I mean, you can tell that Disney's already way miscalculating the public reception of that character because that commercial was stupid. It was received poorly. Everybody's now negative on it when they should be positive on it. So to try and push more toys and more collectibles after they've already sort of turned people off, I think is a critical error.
Hasbro's going to lose another chunk of money because because of this contract. They're forced to do, with current Disney product. They're forced to support it with a line, so they're going to lose a bunch of money on it. And maybe people will pick it up when it's showing up for $5 at Ollie's. It's funny because at Ross, like the figures were showing up, the vintage figures are showing up for $5, and then the Black Series figures are showing up for $5.99, and then all of a sudden the Black Series figures were $7.99. And it's like where they were kind of moving at $5.99, at $7.99, people stopped. So now they're like starting to back up. And Jeff posted it and I posted it. They had to mark down the chick from the Acolyte, the main character, Osha or whatever her name is, to 50 cents.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah.
Dylan, you watched the Super Bowl, right?
Yep.
What was the more heinous commercial? Was it the Mandalorian and Grogu, or was it the Goodwill Hunting Dunkin' Donuts commercial?
If they wouldn't have done all the CG, the Goodwill Hunting one wasn't bad. Like, I think it would have been way funnier if everyone would have just been old, like pretending to be young. Instead, they did like this terrible deep fakes. So I'll say the Mandalorian one was worse.
Man, I thought it was pretty bad. But I guess you got to have your Tom Brady, Dunkin' Donuts, Ben Affleck.
Wait, are you telling me that when you saw the Tauntauns, you didn't recognize the Tauntauns and clap when you saw them?
I recognize them.
I went, why do they look like puppets? And then I was like,
I-
oh wait, they're trying to make them cutesy like the Clydesdale. And then I looked over at my friends and went, this is dumb. Like,
It looked like it was made in grok.
yeah, and you're supposed to be like pumped for this stuff. And I get that people are, different strokes for different folks. Some people might think of The Mandalorian as this cutesy Disney show, but there's a difference between getting people to watch a TV show and getting people to go out and watch a movie. And you got to get them hyped. This isn't just like, hey, a new movie. This is the first Star Wars movie in 6 years in theaters, but they didn't plan on taking a 6-year break type of situation. Like, this is like readjustment, and you got to get people pumped. Like, hell, just play the Star Wars music over a bunch of clips of the movie and throw in some fighting. There you go. You fix the problem. Like, the problems are easily solved, but they just keep going in the opposite direction, and it's just crazy.
I saw
Yeah,
a
you'd have been
sizzle
better
reel
served.
for Mandalorian and Grogu where Mando like shows up and just like starts blasting stormtroopers for like 45 seconds. Oh, that's pretty good. Why didn't they just put that out?
I mean, I saw that same clip and it did not move me at all. I was like, oh, I see what you're trying to do. You're trying to make me care by showing me things that I recognize so that I'll clap when I see them. And I'm not clapping anymore.
It's because your heart has turned to coal, Aaron.
Because Disney Star Wars sucks.
Indeed, it does, my friend.
Yes,
And it
does.
has for a long time.
What does not suck is our beautiful people. Let's hear from Calb. Says, I was hoping Gabe would be on today. Gabe, how would you recommend the manga, The Darwin Incident in Freerin Beyond Journey's End?
I would recommend both of those. But if you're asking me which one I would
I think he's asking, how would you recommend it or sell it to someone?
The Darwin Incident is a Pinocchio story, right? It's about a character who doesn't fit in any world, not quite fish out of water, but really more of Pinocchio, where they have to kind of rise above their station. It's basically a character who's a hybrid between a human and a chimp, and he doesn't kind of fit anywhere, and he's trying to find his place in the world. If you like that kind of Pinocchio, heartfelt underdog type of storytelling, do that one. Freerin Beyond Journey's End is kind of unusual in the sense that it's the story after the story, where the main elf is trying to find her connection and understand humanity and what human world is about after they've already defeated the big boss. But in and of itself, it's a good story. So it's a little bit off the beaten path, and that one is much more grounded in kind of D&D type fantasy. So if you like elves, you like fantasy, and you want a story that's unusual in the sense that it's the story after the story, do the Freerin. If you like the Pinocchio stories where the character is sort of caught between worlds and it's more grounded in kind of our current reality, but there's definitely a fantasy element to it, do the Darwin Incident.
Very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Jag Live says, did anybody read the new Moon Knight? It felt like issue 16.
Yes.
I swore off Moon Knight.
Felt like
because I'm
issue
tired of it.
50.
Yeah. Being rebooted.
They made the mistake of doing this. They, meaning Marvel Editorial, made the mistake of renumbering to number 1, but with the same creative team and continuing the same story.
Multiple times.
For like the fourth time.
Yeah, that's the thing. If it felt like anything, it felt like a number 1. Because that's what they all are.
I think the issue was well written in the sense of trying to portray Mark in this trapped mental state where he thinks he's one thing, but he's really just being a hostage to, basically a form of mental torture,
So
but not really
Show.
realizing it. So I think the emotional aspects of it were well done. But yeah, it didn't feel like a good jumping on point if you know nothing about Moon Knight, because you're going to be like, huh? Who's that? What's going on here? Why is he this way? What's going on? Terrible jumping on point. But I think in and of itself, if you've already been following Jed McKay's version of Moon Knight, it's decently written. Yes.
Yeah. Then Federico de la Casa. I think Christopher Nolan cast Zendaya and Lupita for Odyssey to be selected for Oscars or to be an Oscar contending. Now it's mandatory, even if Helen was referred to as having white arms.
Yeah, I mean it's for the Oscar bait. It's because you have to do that. And also remember, Christopher Nolan got roasted for daring to, accurately cast Dunkirk, a historical story. He didn't mix in a bunch of different nationalities that weren't part of it, and got roasted for it. So he's not going to make that mistake again.
Yeah.
I hate movies. I'm done.
You're done with movies, period?
No, I'm joking, but I'm not
Oh,
going to watch
okay.
The Odyssey on principle. Not
It's
really.
a
I
weird
look at,
trailers so far, dude. I'm assuming it's a good movie, but it's kind of strange.
well,
No, I'm not going to pay to see it.
I just don't have an interest in that. Like, I don't dislike Christopher Nolan's movies at all. He's a very good director, and some of my own. But he doesn't have, actually, nobody besides Sam Raimi has a name that makes me go, I got to go out and see it in theaters right away. Like, it's just, he doesn't do that for me. His movies look nice. I like Dunkirk, but there's just something about this one, no matter who's cast. It's like The Odyssey. Yeah, all right. I've read the story. I know it. I'm not that interested.
But if you would have told me there would be like, just 10 years ago, you would have said like, hey, Christopher, 5 years ago, Christopher Nolan's going to do The Odyssey. I'd have been like, I am there. And now I'm like, nah, I ain't paying for that shit.
Unless I just watched Tenet. I'm like, I don't know. But then I would have got over it.
You really have to watch The Odyssey to understand what's going on in Tenet. It's really like,
oh, that's how that works.
Now, technically, Lupita hasn't been confirmed as Helena Troy, so it could be a little bait and switch going on.
She's probably like Aphrodite or something.
Or
Goddess
Sheba or something like that, queen of the kind of the northern continent or southern continent or something like that. But so it's not confirmed. I don't understand the fascination with Zendaya. That she seemed to be popping up in all these epic movies, and I don't get it. I really don't.
Me neither.
Yeah.
So I don't have anything, like, I don't have any problem with her, and I don't have any problem with Lupita either. I think, I said on the podcast, she's obviously an attractive woman, but I don't like the idea of this. I don't like the idea of cramming in Elliot Page and cramming in all of these different actors to try to like hit this Oscar bait. That's fine if that's what you want to do. That's what you want to aim for, then aim for the Oscars, but you're not aiming for me as an audience member.
So Jeff, you said that you will watch anything Sam Raimi. Did you watch his new movie with or was it Rachel McAdams?
That's on my list. Like, that's where I'm going later.
Oh, was that a good one, Dylan?
I did not see it. I heard it was good, but I didn't see
Talk
it.
about Spend Help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I thought you went to all the movies, Dylan.
I go to a lot, but there's just the trailers didn't grab me. It didn't look very interesting to me, but I heard it was good.
Looked a little too girl power.
I still instead went to go and see Jason Statham defend the little girl. A very original concept. That was
wait,
actually
Dylan,
fun.
let me ask you
was
something.
good.
Or let me ask you something. Is he an operative that's kind of like off the grid?
Yes.
Oh shit!
Wait, I saw this one last year. It was called A Working Man, and then the year before that it was Beekeeper.
The difference was this one was actually good. Shelter was actually good. It's not nothing that's gonna blow you away, but man, A Working Man was so bad. That movie sucked. But Shelter was actually pretty good. It's from the director of Shot Caller. I don't know if you guys saw that. That was that movie with the dude that plays Jamie Lannister that goes to prison for like drunk driving and then becomes like one of the biggest dudes in the prison. That movie was pretty good.
No, I did not see that one. I got to check
But
it out.
But you know what's
really good.
But you know which is I won't say interesting, but just what's important about that is I bet those movies are profitable.
100%.
I bet they're profitable because people know what they're getting. They know what to expect. They go in and they get what they want.
Yes,
then
and they're smart because they release them in January, which is like the worst month for movies. It's like hardly any movies come out, and the movies that do suck. So if you're like, oh, it's a Jason Statham action movie, I know exactly what I'm getting, and like it's the perfect time to release it. Low budget, it works.
Marvel and DC editorial could learn a lot from a Jason Statham run of movies.
Giving people what they want, what they expect, and what they're happy with.
Yep.
Dylan, Sully would be so proud of you to see a movie where it was clear that the woman was going to be powerful and the man was going to be put down, and you denying it. He'd be like, "That's my guy." You know what I'm saying?
Now Sully's going to come back a changed man this weekend.
Well, probably.
Oh no, I liked him the way he was. What's happening?
Jag Live, has there been any updates on the possible status of what is going on with Hush 2 Part 2? Is this Batman Wonder Woman maybe a replacement? That's what it sounds like. Is they're treating this Batman Wonder Woman lasso missing story, Gabe, as a replacement for Batman Hush 2 Part 2, right?
Yeah, I do have some breaking information. Hush 2 Part 2 has been delayed to 2047. So hang in there, be patient, we appreciate your time and your consideration. Thank you.
Listen,
At least you're going to put it out after I'm probably dead.
Yeah, I'm leaving Hush 2 to my kids in my will.
There's a Supergirl movie coming out. Jim Lee's got to prepare to be on the red carpet. The only thing he truly cares about. Come on, cut the guy some slack.
Supergirl movie based on a Tom King story that is the most far away from Supergirl as you could possibly get, and then some.
But
Great.
super close to True Grit because it's just
True Grit.
copy-paste.
That's all it is, yeah.
Yeah. I don't imagine we ever get Hush 2 Part 2 unless they find a new artist. Unfortunately. Seems like Jim's pretty busy. But
Maybe they should have had Dan Mora draw it because it would have been out by
Dan
now.
Moore.
You know, I'm getting that
more put it out weekly.
the more I hear about Hush and some other projects going on, I'm starting to think that Loeb is the problem, not Jim.
You think so?
Well, when I read it, I realized it was his
trouble
problem.
getting this-
Well, clearly the writing is substandard. The art in the book is fine. It's just taking a long time, but the story does suck. There's no denying that.
Jim Lee's knocking out some really interesting pages too. The perspective of the rough pages I saw with Batman in like a clock tower and all the rendering that went into it. I really appreciated that, but I still didn't pick up the book because I'm not interested in the concept.
Yeah, you don't want to. It's a bad story. American Texan reads, howdy, party people. Can we come up with a different name for a tie-in where it's just a mention like Aquaman, where it's a mention and not really related? DCKO adjacent? Just doesn't ring.
Just call it a
I agree.
buy-in.
Cash
It's
grab?
a cash deal.
I agree, because if you
Yeah.
read Aquaman, you ain't getting a fucking tie-in to DCKO.
Well, Aquaman is weird because it isn't a tie, is and is not a tie-in because Aquaman isn't in the arc for the most part that's currently running right now because he's off doing the KO thing.
Well, he's dead.
So or dead,
Mhm.
or turned to stone, or however you want to define it. Yeah. So in a sense, it does kind of work in the tie-in in that the title is directly affected in a significant way by the events of what's going on in KO, but it doesn't matter to KO, which I think is the problem. If there was some direct impact or correlation on the events of
Well,
what's
I guess it does explain why Aquaman got housed in that fight that he lost because he didn't have his powers anymore. That is explained in this issue. So I guess maybe it's DCKO adjacent.
Yeah, but it probably would have been better off just to be a self-contained story where it didn't tie into anything. Because honestly, based on how clunky the structure of it is, it's probably better off doing it that way rather than trying to tie into other titles.
Oh, I thought Aquaman was pretty damn hot this week.
No, it was good, and
Yeah,
of all
no.
the rounds in the, if you even call it that, rounds in the tournament, the Aquaman Hawkman fight I thought was the best one.
That was definitely the best of the tie-ins.
That was definitely the best of the tie-ins, or at least the best fight pair-up matching of the group. But yeah, as far as what does one story have to do with the other story, really not much other than explain why Aquaman is not present in his own title.
Yeah. Did you like Aquaman, Dylan?
Yeah, it's been pretty good. It's just
Jim went savage on me this week in Hot or Not. He made fun of my mom. He said my kids are retarded.
I started
He
singing
said all kinds of
Landslide.
bad stuff because I thought Aquaman was good.
I was about
Teeth out.
Are you sure you didn't like bring up Fantastic Four or something during it?
No, I was talking about Aquaman.
Because if
Your
so,
kids-
that's justified.
Your kids
Yeah,
are
yeah.
excited to see Pixar's Hoppers, which tells me they really loved Fantastic Four, just like
I
that.
didn't say that they wanted to see Hoppers. I said I looked at it and I saw the picture and it looked cute.
You told me that your kids were excited to see it.
No, they're excited to see Super Mario Galaxy.
Good. That's what
Give
I
him
like
the
to hear.
popcorn bucket for that.
Because I came to respect those boys when I met them in Dallas, and I'd hate to have my opinion undercut.
No, their dad said Hoppers looks pretty cute. Not the kids. But Jim, you savaged me, man.
Yeah, I read it
You
again.
made jokes about what you did with my mom the previous night.
While we were listening to Landslide and Making Sweet Love. Is what we were doing. We ended up the whole deal of it is I reread it, and I do now. I did yell at you, but I do think that most of the problem was Jeremy Adams had a story. It kind of got convoluted up a bit because of KO. And I also think that this issue kind of rushed to exposition to explain everything because we're going to have a status quo change with KO. So I still didn't love it, but I don't blame Jeremy Adams as much as I did. He did have the best fight. with Hawkman and Aquaman, but I just at the end, like everybody had some, you had theories. Sometimes there's a twist that you're like, oh my god, I didn't see that coming. But yeah, some of the stuff was just like, ooh, like I didn't see that coming in a way that he had to exposition his way out of it, and it just felt a little clunky to me.
Are you gonna apologize to my dad for all the mean things that you said?
Your dad
about
was watching in the closet
probably
while all that
ruined
was happening. So he didn't mind. But yeah, I was yelling at that point. I had just read it and I was kind of irritated with the whole thing. But it's Jeremy Adams has been he's made the best of a lot of these event tie-ins that kind of screw your book. He is probably the best guy in the tie-ins to just say, screw this, I'm going to tell my story as well. I just thought that this one, things must not have been laid out to him as much as they should have, and it seemed like all of a sudden he had to exposition. I can't wait to see what's next, but this whole thing with the blue and all that, it just never felt like it was fully developed to me, though people disagree. But I wanted a little more. I read things on a different level.
Exactly. Sparrow, he's asking, do you have, because you're a writer, you're a literary genius, is there something better than DCKO tie-in that isn't called DCKO adjacent that we could call these books?
Yeah, I said Cash Grab.
That name's already taken, though.
That's true. That's true. But you know what? The name Punchline was taken, and that didn't stop DC. So
Oh, all right. Cal of Lyle, this is a two-parter on Darwin Incident. It's a very, very smart criticism towards modern Western culture and why people are unable to move on.
Okay,
From what?
I don't know what we're talking about.
From agreeing and disagreeing, and able to think for themselves. It's set in America, and the villain looks like Obama. Is that true?
Wait, is this a story that I'm unaware of?
It's a mega story. It's a mega story. It's about like a group of activists free these animals from an experimental lab. One of the animals is a hybrid between a human and a chimp. And then he grows up and becomes like teenager and adult. And he's sort of a mix of human and animal. And he's trying to kind of like build relationships. Do I get into a romantic relationship? Who are my friends? People are trying to ostracize me because I'm different. It's very much that kind of, like I said before, a Pinocchio type of story. So it really kind of plays into a lot of the kind of the current Western cultural debates that are constantly going on about othering people who are different and because of the way they look or the way they feel, and what does acceptance looks like, what does tolerance looks like, a lot of that type of stuff.
I liked it better when they had the monkeys be infected with rage and just started biting people, and
28 days later
turned into zombies.
Yeah.
Wasn't this a movie last year where it was just like a rock star chimpanzee?
Yeah, it was that
nobody
British
went to
guy.
Primate?
What's his face from
that
Canada?
Robbie Williams?
Yeah.
Robbie Williams. He's from England.
Yeah.
I've had so many people go like, "Oh, it's such a good movie. You got to check it out. It's such a good movie." And I'm like, I will never watch that movie. I just have no interest in watching a CGI chimpanzee.
Would you rather see that or Planet of the Apes?
I'd rather see Planet of the Apes.
Wait, you've never seen Planet of the Apes?
I've seen Planet of the Apes.
Oh, I was about to say, oh my god, what?
I haven't.
Yeah, I've seen all
Ever?
of the Apes.
No.
Oh,
not even the original?
Classic.
I haven't seen a legit movie in probably 7 years.
No, but like the
I meant the
Planet
original,
of the Apes?
like from
No,
I years ago.
I'm an
Well,
adult.
even the reboot came out 15 years ago.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of those. I have no interest.
Jim is an anti-primate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't care for
I
your
feel like this book was probably made for Jim,
Mm.
so he can get over his biases.
Maybe. Yeah, I can't sit through a movie. I'm just not interested.
Jim, I could see you befriending a monkey though.
Yeah,
Like just
that'd
one
be
of those little organ grinder monkeys. Like
He'd be there. He'd be, clashing his little cymbals, and
He'd be trying to feed him rice.
Yeah, you can feed him
He's
fried
fond of
rice.
me, and then he ghosts me. That's all he leaves me to, this monkey. Yeah,
He'd be like, "You're coming to have some rice, right?" And he's like, "Oh yeah."
Yeah.
Never shows up.
Yeah.
I know the 3 jokes from the Planet of the Apes. So there you go. I can yell, "You damn dirty ape." I could yell that.
Yeah, Bright Eyes.
Yeah, but yeah, that's legit too. Actually, I did try to watch the first deal for a podcast, and I didn't get very far in the first one.
We got HH, the team at Sigma Comics. Shout out to the Thinking Critical team. Seattle was the better team, but we'll be heading there next month for ECCC, Emerald City Comic Con 2026. Get your tickets now and see you there. So he's talking about the Super Bowl, which I didn't make it past halftime. It sounds like I didn't miss anything, Dylan.
No, you did not. It's just an ass whooping.
Are you going to Emerald City Comic Con?
Yes, I'll be there. Should be a good
Yeah.
time.
Oh,
I go
yeah?
every year.
I was thinking of going.
Shit. It's a good time.
It is a fun show. I've been.
Dude, you're
I
going
used
to take
love it.
HH out to Gulliver's? I've heard it's incredibly romantic.
HH gonna come out here and fly into John Wayne HH, and we'll go over to Gulliver's, get some prime rib. Except HH doesn't eat prime rib.
What?
HH he doesn't eat meat.
No way. You
He
can't
loves
get
the
that
animals.
fucked up.
No, HH loves the animals.
Didn't I see him eat a burger in Dallas?
That veggie burger.
Maybe. Is there anything big going on at ECCC this year, Dylan?
Hayden Christensen's gonna be there. He's been there before though.
Are you taking a picture with him?
I already got a picture with him. I met him a few years ago when he was there.
Was he nice?
But yeah, he was really nice. He's great.
He's been messaging me on Twitter. I'm sure it's really him.
Yeah, he might need some money.
I just
Help
had
him
to
out.
send him the front and back numbers of my credit card. He said he needed it. He was in a real
Real
bad
bind.
situation.
Yeah, his boss, the Emperor, is pissed off.
Is anybody else going to be there? I know normally you're looking for Higgins, right? Isn't he the guy they like to talk to?
He's there like every year. Yeah, they got a bunch of people. Jeff Loeb's gonna be there. Chris Claremont's gonna be there.
You got to
Uh,
ask Jeff Loeb what the fuck is up with Hush 2, dude. Like this is ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't think he's. Oh yeah, David Finch is gonna be there. His line's probably gonna be huge.
No, you gotta,
PKJ
go
will be
to,
there, dude.
you gotta come
No,
out to San
he's-
Diego.
He's not. He's not gonna be there.
Oh.
San Diego, you can walk right up to David Finch most days.
Oh yeah, because everyone going there doesn't care about comics at all.
That's right. That's eBay Con. It's like, what exclusives are there that I can flip on eBay?
So you're going to Seattle? Just no notice, Barrel?
I might. I haven't decided. I mean, I'm working with a company up there, so it would be a good chance to go up and visit. And, so it might be. Plus, I get to see my dad, so it's like could be a good trip.
I can understand why you want to go to like Cincinnati, where they have like Skyline Chili or something cool like that. Seattle.
I mean, if Jim would have
Skyline Chili is
invited
just
me, I might
fine.
have
That
shown
would
up
be.
for fried rice. if Jim
Just
had
don't go to
invited
St. Louis because Wes told me it's the murder capital of the U.S. though. So don't go there.
No, you said what is St. Louis known for, and I said murder. Well, I
That
know
is
murder,
true.
Tips.
But maybe barbecue. They have a dry
Yeah.
rub thing.
Wait, are you telling me that there's one negative thing that California isn't number one in? Because we nailed down homelessness, we've nailed down unemployment, we've nailed down people fleeing the state. We've got number one in all those. We're not the number one in murder.
You might
Come on,
be.
Gavin
I'm just
Newsom,
saying that's
you're
what St.
slacking.
Louis is known for, but I wouldn't be surprised if San Francisco outdoes them.
Well, see, no, we don't. We're not the number one in murder because we just don't report it.
But there you go.
Yeah, because the police don't show up for anything, dude.
No, they're not
I
allowed.
called 911 once, and they put me I got an answering machine, and they called me an hour later, and I went, okay, I don't need help anymore because somebody got beat up on the street.
I'm dead. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Yeah, the American Midwest has a very surprising reputation for serial killers.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, anywhere there's a lot of forest, I guess.
Well, Ed
Yeah.
Geden's from Wisconsin.
Yeah, it's
Dahmer's
the
from-
desolation. It's the rural landscapes and the desolation that gets to people.
What the fuck are you talking about? Desolation? There's no desolation in Missouri. It's a
That's
beautiful.
why I
state.
heard Aaron's moving to Alaska.
So if we combine the two takes, it's a desolate place full of slow, retarded people.
Yeah.
Well, it
This
is.
this is explaining Wes's view on like Fantastic Four right now.
Yeah.
I'm getting it.
It's not-
Full of retards.
Fantastic Four is a superior film to Superman, but they're just neither
No.
of them are good.
It
What?
absolutely is. It absolutely is.
How?
not.
Well, in everything other than casting, it's superior to Superman. It has a better story. It's the set
It did?
pieces are better. It's more coherent. There
It
is
has-
a couple of
it has
films
one of
where
the
there's
dumbest-
the end.
One of the dumbest stories that's strung together for no reason.
You're just
Oh, Galactus wants your baby.
you just
so he
don't
can-
like Pedro. It's
your
fine.
baby can take over being Galactus because Galactus is a big dumb retard.
Nah,
Who can't figure out the very phenomenal cosmic power. Little bitty brain. Can't figure out what Reed Richards is up to with big teleporter gates.
He did
And then
figure it out.
Steve's
They
trying to
went and
push him
destroyed
down
all
the
the
street.
gates. What are you talking about? He
But he
sussed it all out.
didn't know it was a trap. Like it's
He just overlooked the one
And by the way,
that was near the baby.
Stop giving me this bullshit. Stop giving me this bullshit. Storm superhuman strength protecting her child nonsense. Yeah, that's fine when a woman
That's
needs to
100% what they were going for. Whether you buy it or
a woman
not.
needs to lift up a Toyota Prius to save her baby. Yeah, that can happen. A woman doesn't lift up a big rig, and that's what a Galactus is the equivalent of in this scenario.
Well, she might have the powers of Sue Storm. She might be able to, but you sit there buying into Superman beating up an R-coded Superman with our strength that's being driven by Lex Luthor, and we're supposed to be rooting on him beating up a retard. It's not nice. He should have
That's
saved
fine.
him.
That's fine. Clones aren't people.
That's true.
True.
Ask Palpatine. Their inventory.
I don't understand why you guys keep making me defend Fantastic Four. I don't think it's a great movie.
No one makes you. We just say
I think it's just
you
better
instantly
than
go on a
Superman.
diatribe about how
I
much
think
you like
Thunderbolts is better.
Thunderbolts was
Keep Up-
better.
Keep Up Demon Hunters was way better.
Look, I said it earlier. I think Superman's biggest failing is it tried to do too much. But if you were to make one small change, I think would improve it a little bit. Instead of making the clone Ultraman, make the clone Bizarro.
Yeah,
We
Well, that's
all
what they're
said
turning. That's what they're turning him into. I
Yeah,
think the
That would have made a big
biggest
difference.
thing that would have made that movie better is you take out the Justice Gang and give that time to the Daily Planet crew and Superman characters.
Justice
I
Gang
think
is
that's the biggest thing.
unnecessary. Yeah.
Because you get rid of them, and you can have Clark Kent instead of only having him for 30 seconds.
But Mr. Terrific technically is the best thing about the movie. If you remove the Justice Gang, you don't get the Mr. Terrific.
He is not the best part of the movie. I like Mr. Terrific in that movie, but he's not the best part.
It's
You also
him or
wouldn't have
Lex.
missed him. You also wouldn't have missed him if you didn't get him.
Aw.
No,
Nobody
he's
would
great.
like
But if
it.
you take him
Then-
out,
then-
if you take him
Nobody
out, you
would've
get a
been
better
watching a
Superman movie.
Yeah, nobody's watching a Superman movie going, you know what this movie needs? Mr. Terrific.
I was as surprised as anybody. I was like, wow, really nailed that character. Wasn't expecting it.
I'm
Yeah.
just
And I
glad
was
that
not. I was
they-
not happy with the music choices either. I think
That's
the,
the part I disliked strongly.
the pop songs.
I like the
were
music.
too
I thought
much.
the music was good.
I was fine with the music.
Well, I think that
You know,
makes movies feel too temporal. Like when you watch the John Williams one, I know it's from the 70s, but you're listening to something that just works in every era. When I watch a movie that's like very much an 80s, like The Goonies is always 1985. I can't go and think of it as a timeless story. And that's how I feel like Superman is. It's good. I like the movie more than Fantastic Four, but like that punk rocker song at the end and all that, just I get it that the joke was maybe kindness is the real punk rock. Loved the theme. Didn't love the song. Just give me the Superman music. Give me something to like get inspired by.
Well, The Goonies is very much an 80s movie. Like, it can't be a timeless movie because there's no, there's nothing that, it's very much tied to that time.
Yeah.
Nobody's
but
using a
that's the
cell
point.
phone.
That's
Nobody's,
okay. For that type of movie, that's good. That's okay. For Superman, I mean, for all its flaws in the special effects and just because it's dated for the 1976 film, that score is timeless.
Well, listen, but everything,
emotional impact of it is timeless.
Oh, yeah.
everything becomes retro. So, if you watch the Superman movie in 10 years and they're playing contemporary music now, it'll seem like it's retro.
Well, it's not playing like music from now. Like it's playing, Iggy Pop and
Yeah.
like it's not like it's playing like
Man, a lot of people making excuses for an inferior movie, and I guess I'm used
Inferior
to
to
it.
Fantastic Four? No.
Inferior to fucking Thunderbolts for certain. No,
Thunderbolts was really good when I first saw it, but I have literally never thought about it again. Like Superman, every once in a while, I'm like, yeah, Superman, that was good.
I
Thunderbolts was good
I
in
like
that I had
Thunderbolts,
no-
but I like Superman better.
I had no expectation for Thunderbolts. So just by
I had one expectation, which is I was excited for Bucky, and then he just jack shit in the movie. So
he's a
that-
congressman. Isn't that what you always wanted to see? Bucky be this is like, hey, you guys want some new Star Wars films? Yeah. You want a lot of time spent in the Senate? What?
All right, let's get some of these Thinking Critical Patreon shout-outs out of the way, and then we'll get back to our main topic. Welcome to the channel, Walt, a.k.a. Bifrost and Protector of Runeborn. We've also got John Doe arriving, a.k.a. the White Noise, Protector of the Dead channel. Welcome back, JD, a.k.a. the Storm Warden, Protector of Cyclone Harbor. We've also got Fareed, a.k.a. the Scarlet Shah, Protector of Nurabad. Brad Johnson, the Captain Clutch himself, Protector of Summit City. We've also got Amazing, the Astonisher, Protector of Horizon Prime, and Comic Book Barbarian, also known as Bonehammer, Protector of the Gravehold. And finally, John Garrett, welcome to the family, also known as the Ultimate Outlaw, Protector of Neo Texas. And if you're interested in having your own superhero name, you back us on the Patreon or channel memberships, you get that, but you also get awesome podcasts and videos that you will see nowhere else.
Bonehammer, huh?
Bonehammer.
All right.
Is that your new
Well,
nickname?
you've already made fun of me this week for the 5-knuckle shuffle joke that apparently I screwed up.
Wait, you
I'm
gave somebody
saying.
a 5-knuckle shuffle nickname?
No,
He thought 5-knuckle
I was-
shuffle was hitting somebody.
it is. John
Oh,
Cena.
it is. It certainly is. But not the
Yeah,
way you-
Cena.
When John Cena gives you the 5-knuckle shuffle, he punches you in the face. Aaron is a tenderfoot, a greenhorn, and if I told him if he moved to Alaska, they'd call him Tenderfoot. I said, what you do is first person that calls you Tenderfoot, you give them the. Well, I think I made it more a story about me when I lived in Alaska.
Yeah.
gave a guy the 5-knuckle
You said you gave him the 5-knuckle shuffle.
The thing is,
And I
it's the
lost-
best advice he ever
I
gave.
completely lost it.
How is he not your friend afterwards? Oh, it got awkward. Okay.
I was just- the John Cena version, not the whatever version.
Wes, you've proven the point that at no point in your life should you ever equate anything to John Cena, because
Well,
John
that was
Cena
my
is-
mistake. I don't even like the wrestler. I was just trying to be in the story and equate it to wrestling because Aaron and I share a love of wrestling, and he turned it around on me and made me look like an idiot.
And that Wes also said that shaking at the end of a conversation is now called a happy ending. That's what he said.
Okay, I'm gonna get you the Urban Dictionary and just all of it. I'm gonna get it printed for you and we'll teach you all the terms.
Man. How did that come up? That shouldn't have happened. That should have stayed on the Geek Fix. That was not
Rory in
cool.
the chat says, I hope Wes got a $20 bill for his 5-knuckle shuffle.
Yeah, exactly. But there's more important things going on. We've got Callum. Chris Gordon and Roddick have heard things about Avengers Doomsday. I think it's going to make people angry, but it's written by Michael Waldron, so.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, the Russos will take whatever and adapt it the way that they want, whatever Michael Waldron has put on the page. But, Michael Waldron does not fill anybody with confidence. Especially when you have see the interview with him, he's talking about Doctor Strange, and he's like, I just didn't know how to end it, so I did this. Which is just like the worst. It's like when Lucas said, I didn't really have any other ideas for an Indiana Jones movie beside the Crystal Skulls, so we did the Crystal Skulls. That's not a compelling reason to make a movie. I didn't have any other ideas.
Just say money. That's a more compelling answer. It's like, why'd you make it? I wanted to buy 5 new houses. All right, George, I'll buy that.
Harrison really wanted to do it.
What's likely to happen is it's just going to be a cameo fest, full of whatever characters are left from Fox and Sony and stuff. To show back up as different variations of characters. We'll probably get, Chris Evans as Hydra Supreme and different versions of Cap and stuff like that. And they're probably just hoping that you don't even realize what the story is. And you're just sitting there clapping when you see a character that you recognize.
That will not happen. And I don't mean what you're guessing. What I'm saying is, if that movie is that, which I think it will be.
That's what
people are
Deadpool and
gonna-
Wolverine is, isn't it?
No, I'm not disagreeing with that. I don't think people are going to sit and clap. I think people will go, what is this? Like we're past that point. I think that the movie is going to be that, but people are going to look and go, this is stupid. Like,
I know
if you
Deadpool
copy-
Wolverine made a bunch of money, but like nobody is looking back on it fondly. Like I'm seeing all kinds of videos on YouTube now where it's like people are going back and rewatching the movie and going, why did I like this?
Yeah, there's a lot to criticize after Phase 3 about the MCU. But if I had to order them and say, well, what's at least top of the list or very close to the top of the list, is the audience has rejected this idea of multiverse this, multiverse that, multiverse everything. Sure, I mean, Deadpool did okay because they pulled it in, but they kind of made it work within the context of here's this moment in time and how we're going to do this. But for the phases after Phase 3, where it's all reliant on alternate time streams, alternate timelines, alternate universes, I think that just really soured people. So to kind of build this whole idea up for Doom's introduction to the universe, which is, let's be clear, Dr. Doom is one of Marvel's premier villains. Very close to the top of the list, if not the top of the list of one of the most famous, recognizable villains in all of Marveldom. And to kind of put him in already from the get-go, a multiverse layered story with different versions of this, that, and the other thing, I think is probably going to be a catastrophic mistake.
I
Plus,
agree.
Deadpool and Wolverine is a parody movie, and this is supposed to be like a big action blockbuster, right?
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah, it's kind
I'm
of
so
different
sick
flavors.
I'm so sick of Deadpool in any incarnation. I'm just over
Same.
that character completely.
Yeah, don't read this week's Deadpool book then.
Man.
Rob
All right,
Liefeld doesn't enter the chat.
Don't worry, I won't.
Yeah.
Aaron's going to get a night letter from Rob Liefeld.
No, I mean, doesn't Rob Liefeld hate Deadpool now? I'll never work on it again. I hate Marvel. Kevin Feige's
No, he
a
loves
jerk.
Deadpool. He thinks
Oh,
the
that's-
MCU is dying, but Deadpool's still doing well.
Well, he certainly puts Deadpool in every one of his books. I mean, you read any Youngblood book, any Rob book, it's like guys jump out of plane, land on vaguely defined base in locale that allows no backgrounds, fight a bunch of generic soldiers, vague images of bad guy. Then a Cable shows up and shoots somebody. Then we have some more fighting. A character ends up somewhere, has to fight a Deadpool that shows up. Then we get to the last page and a Cable shows up. Then go to the second issue, which picks up with a story that has nothing to do with what you just read. But
I'll
it's
tell you
essentially the
this.
same thing.
I will take that over this week's Deadpool, where he opens up by coming out of the ass of a cow and making steak jokes.
Mhm.
Wait, that's actually in the comic? Because that sounds funny.
Yes. It's not funny
It's
when
not
you read
funny because they forgot to hire a comedian to write it.
Oh,
Who
the
wrote
jokes are bad. I was like, oh, it's like Ace Ventura. Okay, I'm on board.
It's Ben
Deadpool.
Percy. Ben Percy.
Yeah, unfortunately, they should have hired Byron Posehn to help him out. Unfortunately, but I'm hearing similar things, Callum, that Avengers Doomsday might have some issues regarding story, but I haven't heard the details yet. Very interesting. So we've had this big debate, and Rob Liefeld was a part of it. I guess Todd McFarlane was a part of it. It felt like everybody was jumping in. Jimmy P was jumping in. Kieran Gillen was jumping in. What's more important to a great comic book? Is it the great writing or is it great art? And I think we'll try and settle it today. Jeff, you are the guest here. You are writing and illustrating your own comic book. You've grown up on comics as a young lad. What do you think? Is the art that ultimately makes the book? Is it the writing that makes the book? What is the most important?
So I'm going to go with the Greg Capullo take from many years ago, because this debate always rises up online. I'm in the camp of the art, because the art is beyond just the drawing of the characters. It's the page setup, it's the page layout, it's the panel construction, it's everything. It's what makes a comic book, because you can have great writing, but it's also called a novel. You need both elements to make a great comic book. And if you take that element away or treat it as the second class element, it's just a novel with extra steps. That's all you're doing. And so there are many great comic books that have no words. There are no great novels that don't have text. So you just need the art, and the art will always be important. But that being said, I'm not of the 1990s Image Comics is the greatest thing ever. Boom. I think a lot of those books sucked as a kid. I couldn't get into them because I couldn't tell what was going on. And as an adult, I look back on those and I skip past those. So for the guys like Rob Liefeld and Todd McFarlane, they can't write, and their artwork just couldn't sell a book enough for me. And so with other creators, I would respect that take. But from those two guys, I just don't want to hear it, because Todd McFarlane is not Michelangelo. He's just Todd McFarlane. And that's good enough for him, but not for me.
No, I tend to agree with you. I think it's a 60-40 in favor of art. I think that great art elevates a great story, but I think that you've got just like the Rob Liefeld example, you've got a guy who can't write his way out of a paper bag, and he can't tell a story. You go look at issues of Youngblood. If you take all the words off that page, it's just pictures of guys punching each other. That's all that it is, and there's no story through line. Now, if you get a good artist that can take a great script and then tell that story, and a great writer will lay it out for the artist, like this is how the story is going to be told, and then the artist will elevate that, then you get magic, and that's when you get a truly fantastic comic book. But obviously people pick up comic books because they're drawn to the art. They see the pictures and they go, oh, let me check this out. They flip through it. When you're at the stand, you don't really necessarily stand there and start reading all the words. You flip through and you look at the art and you see if you like it. Then you buy the book, and maybe you get some great writing along with it. So I think that in comics, I think the art is more important, but I think that it's like the Gungans and the Naboo, man. They form a symbiotic circle. And if you have one without the other, it's not a complete package.
Yes. I just say for me, I didn't even realize Wes had gone. Yeah, I still though when I say to people, I don't say I looked at a comic. I say I read a comic, and I don't know. Like I've never been an art guy. I've never once bought an issue of a comic. I don't buy a lot of them anyway. But I don't. I've never got an issue just for the art. But that's just me. I think it's very much, individual with it. But I would say I don't know. I would say now the art isn't the problem in comics today. It's the writing, and comics are falling apart because of that. So it must be pretty damn important because people are losing a lot of interest because of the writing. So if the writing, was better, obviously, but I think that to me, I go for writing. But then you have to go with that. I also go, character work, which you don't have a lot of, and obviously storytelling. But at the end of the deal, I think that maybe great art would sell a single issue, but it's not going to sell an arc. It's not going to end up being something that people are going to say 10 years from now, oh my God, I remember that arc because it looks so great. You always talk about the story. But again, it's a combo. It's one of those, why can't we have both sort of thing? And when it does come together, that's the stuff that ends up being really special.
Yeah.
Dylan, what do you think?
Take that, Dylan.
Yeah, I think well, it takes. I pretty much agree with Jim here, where I think you obviously need a collaboration for the two because otherwise it's not a comic book. But I very much enjoyed more comics where the writing was good and the art was bad compared to the other way around, because it's just you can't take so much if it's a horrible story and the character work is bad but everything looks pretty. But obviously you need both. It's a comic. It's 50-50. But I've definitely gritted my teeth and gone through more where I really like the story, but the art is terrible compared to the other way around.
Yeah. And then when that happens, you say that's a shame, right? You're like, oh, that's a shame. But the other deal, you're like, oh, screw this. You just don't read it anymore if it's just art and no story or bad story.
Yeah. I agree, Dylan. I'll force my way through bad art if I'm enjoying the story. But if it's good art but the story sucks, I'll toss it aside and be like, oh, that sucked.
Yeah.
Oh, what I'll do is I'll just stop reading it and just look through the art, read the panels only, and then that's where the interest ends. Because I don't want to come off as I'll read crap for the good art. I also think good art isn't what a lot of people think of as good art. So
it's like the first 4 issues of Fractions Batman, it's all just Jorge Jimenez is incredible and the writing is not quite there, and it's just all Jorge is incredible and that's it. The writing is just not it. But these last 2 issues are good. But yeah, you have plenty of examples of it where it's the writing's not good, but the art is so incredible.
Well, when Rob came up with the name for Image, it was obvious that that was the right name for the company, because it very much was for most of those books. Most of those creators was image over substance. It was all sizzle and no steak. So I think that it really proves you can get by. You can sell for a while just based on the art, but eventually people will fade away because there's nothing there to hook them anymore. Especially if you're an artist like Rob, where you're just redrawing the same thing over and over and over again.
That's what I was going to say. If the art does more of the storytelling and helps the storytelling of the writing, then that's when it becomes, special.
Yeah, I don't think you can have a special story with bad art, though.
Yeah, well, I look at the perfect marriage is John Byrne and Chris Claremont, because John Byrne's an awesome artist. Chris Claremont's the writer of writers for X-Men. But if you were to look at the John Byrne pages, you could still see the great story, and his art also translates to other books. That's why I'm not giving him the nod as a great writer. But, you need to have that balance. And, and it's important, because I don't know why anyone would justify just publishing a bad story in the first place, unless it's to cash in on that 90s image boom, which I already hate.
But if you look at the sales and when things that have popped off, it's almost always with the really biggest name artists on it. Like X-Men #1, the highest selling book of all time, it's Jim Lee's art, right?
I think that's to Jim's point from earlier, but from just a few minutes ago, where he's talking about how you can sell a single issue with great art and bad writing, but as far as who's going to have the deluxe hardcover on their shelf, I think more people would have the one with a good story and mediocre art compared to great art and
yeah, but what's the classic that has mediocre art?
That's
Dark
the
Knight
excellent
Returns.
point. Oh, I disagree.
no.
It's
Yeah, Frank Miller is
stylized.
one of the
It's very
best
subjective, though.
storytellers ever.
Yeah, because Frank Miller fell off, in my opinion, into the 2000s, like Dark Knight Strikes Back. That's when I think his art is.
Oh, Dark Knight
is really-
Returns looks incredible compared to his current art, but I was just not a fan of that style.
No, I was
liked what he did
never-
with Wolverine, but I didn't care for Big Fat Batman and all that.
Yeah, I never looked at Dark Knight Returns and was like, this art is spectacular.
Yeah.
It was serviceable, for the story, it was serviceable.
Yeah, that's how
I always
feel.
say that art is cool. It has that, that cool factor, and Lynn Varley colors make it so different. But I'm a Frank Miller, like, who was it? Joseph Rubinstein that inks him on Daredevil. Like, that's the Frank Miller I'm liking.
Oh yeah, and I loved him on Sin City. It's like Sin, but it fit.
yeah.
I wouldn't say his art was attractive in Sin City. I mean, although he drew some beautiful women, but it's like, it was very much married to that property. It fit that property.
And it created something, though. That's where I think Frank Miller always stands out, is he's created things that are unique. Like, I get it. Other people have done hard-boiled detective-style noir stories in comics, but he blends it very well with his Daredevil work. And then Sin City, same kind of premise, but like he adds a layer of an art style that's really unique. That looks nothing like Ronin. And can you name, like, Sin City? You could say Sin City style, and it's a style. There aren't many other other characters or books that have a style that actually translates to like a replicable style that people want to mimic.
Yeah, because Jim Lee ripped him off for Death Blow, and Scott McDaniel was doing kind of a Frank Miller riff for a while. That that I liked.
It's got a little Frank Miller in it.
Yeah, I mean, no, I'm not taking anything away from Miller at all as a genius.
I think he's the best writer artist of all time.
But I don't think his art is attractive.
Well, it's subjective.
I think it's good. I think it's good. I like it. But like I don't look at it and I'm not like, oh, this is art that's blowing me away. It's blowing me away on one level, but it's like I don't know. It's like when you see a movie and it's like, was it good? Yeah, and it's like, what was it?
Yeah, I think it's about like even a movie. Like I'm never gonna watch The Last Jedi ever again, but people say it looked good. So, and Wes, you said what huge classics have bad art, but what huge classics have great art and no story at all, like shitty story.
Well, I would say Batman Hush has great art with a very mediocre story.
People
Nobody refers to that as a classic.
Yeah.
Well,
they
still
do.
Fucking sell it. It's selling better than anything that Marvel's done in the last 50 years.
But would you go reread it? The thing is, with great art, again, I go and reread. I don't go and relook. And if it was a book where I read it and it had great art, I may look up panels on Google or something, but I'm not going to go through 12 issues of something that had great art and a real shitty story.
But how about this one? Explain to me this. How does Tom King still get pretty decent sales? He's not doing Batman.
People think
numbers.
he's a unique writer.
No, it's because he's always got the best
Well,
fucking
he does have
art.
the best artist, but still, people go with the idea that it's a cult. I think. But
yes, it's part of it is he has the best artist, but also part of it is I think a lot of people bought into his Alan Moore impression. A lot of people are like, "Wow, this is very intellectual. Look at these 9 panels. Whoa!" I think there was a lot of that.
Yeah, people
like how
read
it
his
again
stuff.
with Dennis Camp.
Yeah,
Oh,
they get to read that
depressed.
stuff. Yeah, they get to read that stuff and pretend that they're smarter than everybody else. I get it on a level that you don't.
I said,
It's
if
the
you're a
Emperor's
fan
Clothes.
of Tom King, you're not really a comic fan. You're just a fan of Tom King.
Mhm.
It's just nonsense.
Yep.
You're a fan of his one character that he writes.
And one story. Yeah.
Mhm.
And you like kids being killed. I don't
And
know
that's
why.
fine.
but, yeah.
There's a certain segment of the audience that is like, I liked that thing. Can I have another just like it? And that's fine. Sell to those people, I guess.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, I was told that's what they do. They know that he could do any obscure character and still sell this amount, and that's the reason why he keeps getting work.
Yeah.
And then
Me
the artists
personally,
go on because they want to win Eisners. The bullshit.
I get dragged through with great art and in bad stories or great stories and bad art. I can have either one of them drag me along as one aspect of superior, but I don't think you can have an iconic, amazing comic book that stands the test of time and is still selling comic books copies 20 years later without both.
Well, yeah, definitely.
Agreed.
You need both.
Mm-hmm.
But the iconic moment is almost always associated with the artist, right?
Yeah.
But then you see Kieran Gillen out there saying, like, you're a parasite. The artist doesn't need you. Well,
That's
some artists need you.
performative. That's
Yeah,
performative.
everything with Kieran Gillen is performative. Oh, I tried to be gay. I really tried. It's like,
Did he give anyone a 5-knuckle shuffle?
pat on the
He
back? I don't
probably
know.
As I pulled it through, I got to last, and I was like, 5 up and shuffles for everybody.
I mean, if
Establish
he
your
didn't, did he
dominance.
really try? You know, everything about him is performative and trying to get, virtue signaling back pats. But the truth is that there are some artists that can write, and if they can do some really great stuff because they're interpreting their own thing onto the page. But that's rare. That's very rare to get a double threat like that.
Is
But
it
I think
rare? Or is that
You
only
can
rare
sell
in
better with
America?
great art than with just great writing, though. I think is what history has told us, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Look at McFarlane. Not a good writer at all.
His Spider-Man run sucks.
Terrible. That I can't read Spider-Man adjective lists. I'll look through it every
Torment and all
5
that
years.
stuff?
Yeah, Torment. I'll flip through it. I'll look at the panel layouts. I'll look at the squishy anatomy, and I respect Todd's work, but I'm not like a fan. He only gets as much of my attention because he's associated with Spider-Man. But like Spawn, I read the first 50 issues once. Never again.
I can only tell you one story in Spawn that I liked that I can remember, which was
I
the
can
Billy.
only tell you-
It was the Billy Kincaid story. That was it.
I was about to say, I can only tell you one story I remembered. It's the Ice Cream Man
Mhm.
because the ending's awesome.
Mhm.
Ice Cream Man's an interesting book. I was reading that one for quite some time. Amazing stories and very, very niche art that for what it is, it's done very well, but it's not really appealing to a lot of people. But I was able to read it because the stories were very, very intriguing. So maybe I'm in the middle. Maybe I'm weird.
But I wanted to make a point real quick, Aaron. You talked about the writer-artist thing. That's really the American problem because in the West or the East with manga, a lot of that is a single creator. Yeah, you might have your workflow to be aided by assistants, but like Kira Toriyama wrote Dragon Ball Z and wrote and drew the book and did all that stuff. I think that's why a lot of these other projects from around the world have a stronger identity and reliable sales because it's a consistent creative voice. You're reading Dragon Ball Z and it's the same guy telling you the story. In America, you could be loving Spider-Man 1 minute when it's written by J. Michael Straczynski, but then you don't like whoever followed him up, like Joe Quesada. That happened in real life. Like you don't have those kind of fall-offs with characters because it's usually just the same dude, and then the story ends, and you're always left wanting more. We got to figure out like whatever the American issue is, because you got writers that are off with their heads up their asses, interested in really obscure stuff, and they don't share the life experience that these other more established creators have, which therefore creates the better art. There's just that
I mean,
disconnect.
European too. You get European artists who can write and tell like these epic stories.
I think that's the requirement, like for where we're going next, because you have so many tools that can aid you to be a creator on your own. I think it's only a handful of steps away before it's just more, I guess, quote unquote, graphic novelists where you do all the production and it's just your single voice.
Yeah, the problem with these characters, though, like you said, you're always changing creative teams, yet it's a character that's been around for 80 years. So you end up where when the next guy comes on, this stuff, some of the times they're pulling stuff out of their ass because they think they have to do something different and they have to do something to put their stamp on, and it's bullshit stuff. And then it just all falls apart.
Well, the other problem is, a lot of the artists, and this is especially true of Image and Liefeld in particular, is that, he rejected the writers that he worked with, Louise Simonson, Fabian, he didn't like working with them because they asked him to draw things that he didn't want to draw. All he wanted to draw was the big moment of the guy punching the other guy. He didn't want to draw the background. He didn't want to draw the establishing shot. He didn't want to draw, the character, the different characters and like the civilians and things like that. So he eschews writers because he just wants to do the things that he wants to do. The problem is the things that he wants to do don't tell a story. So he's never had anything that he's worked on himself that is his own plot and story that means anything, because it's just characters showing up and fighting, and then that's it. That's all that there is.
Eating a sandwich.
You can't even do
look
that.
at his sales record.
He can't even draw that. Remember him
Amazing.
drawing Roberto DaCosta's father drinking a poisoned cup of coffee, and it's just like his white ass mouth and like holding a cup like this, because that's how you drink.
Yes.
Yeah, but he's got enormous sales.
So Fortnite had an enormous, box office. It doesn't mean that it's good.
Mhm.
It doesn't mean it's a good story. It just, it's just spectacle, and people will
Yeah,
go
it's just popular.
for spectacle for a
Yeah,
while.
it's like the Superman movie. Might have had the best box office of all those superhero movies, but it wasn't all that good. I'm with you. Bad
No,
writing.
but it was better than Fantastic Four, though. That's the funny part.
Mhm.
But we've seen this, Dylan. Like, remember, we're reading Incredible Hulk from Philip Kennedy Johnson. Really, really cool story. Maybe gets bogged down a little bit and then drags a bit. But Nick Klein is making it all worth your time. And then as soon as you get the backup artist for a couple of issues, it made the story less appealing.
That was definitely true for Incredible Hulk. They kind of fixed that towards the end. They got the guy from Hellhunters to come in, and he was good. But yeah, I can't remember who it was, but they had that one backup
Earls
artist.
or whatever it was.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah, who was it?
Because it's like you got to get someone just decent. Because obviously there's not very many people that are Nick Klein level, but you got to get someone decent. Like having that big of a fall off was rough, and you just didn't even really want to read those issues, even though the writing was still good.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
that's
the writing
kind of
was
the point.
was very good.
Yeah, it was weird. It was that Charlie stuff when they went back in time with that detective, and it was just awful looking. It was so bad.
Yeah.
Man, we've got a bunch of writers here. Y'all are just siding with the writers. I don't get it.
No, look,
Not
I
me.
mean,
Well,
I
Collaborative
have been
process. You need both.
listen.
I've been quiet, but let me give it a shot at it. Let me give it a shot at this.
Here we go.
First of all, you have to have both. You have to have the art. You have to have the writing if you want a great comic. Everybody agrees on that. But I tend to look at things from the business perspective of like, how do we want the industry to be healthy? We have to look at it as what is good business attitude and perspective on how we do this. Art and writing accomplish two different things when you're talking about product. I know people hate that word, but it's what it is. It's product. You want people to buy your comic, it's product. Art is acquisition. That's how you hook somebody to look at a comic and say, hey, buy me, buy me, buy me. It's the cover, it's the variant covers, it's when I flip through real quick and I see all these pretty pictures and bold colors and they get my eyeballs going and get the endorphins racing and saying, ooh, that looks interesting. The art does that initially. It's how you acquire the customer. How you keep the customer is the writing. The story has to hook you. The plot has to be engaging. The characters have to make sense. They have to be properly motivated. There has to be stakes. There has to be a goal. There has to be a journey. They have to both work together, but they do two different things. Art will get you eyeballs and they'll entice you and present something that looks interesting and exciting, but the writing is what keeps people staying on after issue 3, after issue 8, after issue 10. If you look at the sales charts for every single comic, especially Marvel these days, what do you see? For a new number 1, a huge spike, and then after issue 2, after issue 3, it looks like a roller coaster drop off. Because the art may get you to start, or a creative team might be a good selling point, but then after that, if the story doesn't hook you, people drop off. And the only people who remain are the Marvel zombies or people who stay just for the art. And there is a contingent of people who do that. Now, on the Tom King question, why do people love Tom King so much? It's already been called out. If you look at Tom King, every writer has their shtick. Tom King's shtick is he wraps every story he writes in a lie. Every story that he's known for, that has made a name for itself, is based upon a central premise that to the reader is a lie. Strange Adventures, Adam Strange was this war criminal. It turns out he wasn't. Batcat, they were going to get married. They weren't. They're not going to get married. Killing Time was based upon this eye that could control the world, this mystical object that could control the world. It wasn't. It was just a piece of rock. Over and over again. Human Target. The whole idea was that he was going to figure out who killed him, and then he figured out who killed him, and it turned out it was an accident, but it wasn't. It was a lie. Every one of Tom King's stories is a lie. That's why you have such a rabid fan base for a small but rabid fan base for Tom King readers, is because it appeals to this sort of, I hate to say it this way, but this leftist mentality about lies and about morality being the reverse of what it really is. It's sort of this moral relativism that appeals to a certain sort of leftist mentality. I hate to put it like that, but that's kind of what it is. And then he hides that but because that story doesn't appeal to mostly everybody else, especially people who are like into classic hero's journey type stuff, he hides it behind these fantastic artists. He knows that trick. I can write the story I want that most people are not going to like, but if I hide it behind the artist, I can make it work. He does that for Wonder Woman. He did that for Supergirl, Woman Tomorrow, the movie that's going to come out, because Belquist Evely's art is fantastic in that story. He does it for every single story he does. So again, the idea is you have to have both writing and art. People will love, by and large, will love it when they're both working together. But art is what brings you in the door. The writing is what makes you stay. So you'll always have people who will love issues and remember issues for classic images like splash pages, like Jim Lee's X-Men #1. Everybody remembers that splash page. Ask people what the story was. Does anybody even remember what that story was about? Or what were the particulars and who did what and what have you? Now, Wes, to your point about the iconic moments, about the artist made that iconic moment happen. Let's take the what's the big one that a lot of people point to? Bane breaking Batman's back, just slamming him down and making that image happen. That's an iconic image in the last 40 years. Yes, the art made that happen, but that happened based upon a script that somebody wrote. So they have to work together, because I'm pretty confident. I have to go back and look, but I'm pretty confident the artist didn't just say, "Hey, let's have this image," and he just drew it, and then he said to the writer, "Hey, what do you think?" It was
hold on a second. What about a book where we can prove that happened?
Sure.
Amazing Spider-Man Master Planner Saga, where Stan Lee is just filling in captions, but it's Steve Ditko that creates the imagery of Spider-Man lifting the machine that they've replicated in film and multiple times through the book.
But there's a difference. There's a difference on that one, because for so many years between Stan Lee and Steve Ditko, they had developed a sort of storytelling connection between the two of them, where Stan would just kind of give him, that's where the Marvel method comes from, right? He would give him a sort of shorthand. He would give him this like general concept, an outline, and Ditko would know how to run with it. So from a certain point of view, depending on how you define it, Ditko was also a pretty darn good writer in his own right, because he could conceptualize what Stan was getting at, turn that into an actionable set of visual transitions and panels and plot progression, and then personify that through the art. So in that case, I'd almost give Ditko credit for being one of the few cases where he's both an artist and a writer. The modern example to that would be Daniel Warren Johnson. Daniel Warren Johnson can write and he can draw in a way that personifies the words on the page in a way that's visually engaging. He's one of the few people that I think can do that. Rob Liefeld cannot do that. All due respect to what Rob Liefeld did it during the 90s, if Rob Liefeld in his current capacity came out of the blue today, he would not even get close to what he accomplished in the 90s. Not even close. Because
it brings up something really interesting there, because we do have a superstar artist era, the late 80s into like the early 2000s. It's all about the artists, the superstars of comic books. And now it's been the superstar writer for the last 2 decades or so. And if you look at the sales and the trajectory of the industry, it was much stronger when the artist name was the drawing card.
I'll put it like this. What happened with Image could not be done again today. I don't believe it could be done again today.
Because Marvel won't allow even any of their artists to become superstars.
Well, not even that. I think the L boys, as Rob likes to call them, and that cadre of creators that formed the beginning of Image, they took advantage of a scenario where they were itching to kind of do something new, something fresh, something wild, something bold, when both DC and Marvel had gotten really stale. And they took advantage of that gap in the industry where they say, we're going to go off and strike off and do our own thing and really do something different. People want edge. They want to see, macho stuff. They want to see power. They want to see energy. They want to see excitement. They want to see something new, something fresh, something different. And they went off and did that. And they took advantage of the market. Now, a lot of that also, they did the gimmicks. They did the lenticular covers. They did the foils. They did the blind bags. They did all the kinds of things to take advantage of that moment. So
and they benefited too. They
And they
benefited,
benefited
too
too.
from the fact that, you know, the market at that time was you save these things and you put them away and they're going to put your kids through college.
Yeah.
That's
So
still
they-
going on right now.
So that image moment, let's call it the image moment. That image moment took advantage of a clear gap in the industry, and they soaked it for all it's worth. And more power to them for doing that, because I think as we stand right now, image today is very far from the image of when they first started. They're
Image
not
today
like-
is Vertigo.
Yeah, the image today is basically Vertigo, and there's nothing wrong
Because
with
all
that.
those guys got bored with their own creations. They didn't have any staying power.
Right, and they couldn't keep up with the publishing schedule and all these other things.
Mhm.
If you tried to do that today, saying we're going to be what Marvel could be and start a superhero, mostly primary superhero type of publishing company, I don't think it would work out as well. I don't think they would get it, because all the tricks have been done, all the stories have been rehashed, all the edgy stuff has been done and redone and rehashed and reconstituted over and over again. And so for somebody to come along and say, we're going to be a new publisher, and we're going to be what Marvel refuses to be, we're going to be what DC doesn't have the guts to do, I don't think anybody would pay attention, because it's so played out.
Well, it's because we don't have superstar artists anymore.
I think there are plenty of great artists out there. Maybe
Yeah,
not
but which ones
superstar,
are
but great.
superstars? Who's the fucking Jim Lee? Who's the Rob Liefeld? Who's the Todd McFarlane?
Well,
But
they're all
what
over,
I'm
they're,
doing it
what I'm
they're
getting
all over
at-
at Ghost Machine, not getting the attention they deserve.
No, but nobody's allowed to do that. Nobody gets that big, huge run where they're promoted bigger than the writer anymore at Marvel, because they don't
There are
ever want it
plenty
to
of
happen
great-
again.
There are
Well, they
plenty of
also
great
can't
artists
afford
out
to
there,
keep
but
those
there are
guys on
not.
those books.
But they're not great writers out there. That is where you're super duper lacking. Now, Ghost Machine. Okay, I'm glad you brought up Ghost Machine. Ghost Machine's biggest problem is twofold. Number one, their marketing sucks. Whoever's in charge of their marketing sucks. They're not getting the word out. They're not singing their praises. They should very much learn the lesson of what Scott Snyder did when he was hawking his wares for Absolute Batman. He was pounding the virtual pavement every day, talking about Absolute Batman. This is great. This is why you should love it. You're gonna find this fantastic. And he was giving it all his worth, and the results paid off. Now, it paid off because he delivered a good product, but at the same time, everybody saw Absolute Batman everywhere whenever he had a moment to breathe. Ghost Machine did not do that. That's a problem. Number two, a 1-year hiatus from their primary book, which was Rook Exodus, is a no-no. That's when people fall off. That is a big problem. I understand the art, especially that the kind of very detailed. Was it Gary Frank? I think is on
Jason Fabok.
Jason Fabok. Sorry, yeah, Gary Frank is on the okay. Jason Fabok is super detailed. That takes a lot of time. I get it, but you can't take a 1-year break from your lead title, the one that's generating the buzz, and expect people to hang on. That's
Yeah,
not
but
the
think
world
about
we live in anymore.
what Marvel did for Jim Lee. They gave him his own X-Men title. They got rid of Chris Claremont because he didn't want to work with it anymore. They went with him and made him the superstar. They got, what is it, 8 million sales on that fucking issue? What did they do with Todd McFarlane? Oh, you don't want to do Amazing Spider-Man. You want to do your own Spider-Man. We're just going to create Spider-Man just for you, and it's your vehicle, and we're going to promote it as the Todd McFarlane book, and we're going to make the sales huge. What do they do with Rob Liefeld? He's going to be doing New Mutants. He's taking this thing over and everything. And the selling point was always those guys, and they were elevated to this enormously high level, and they created superstars. DC and Marvel are scared to let anybody ever become a superstar again because of what happened with Image. Nobody gets that treatment anymore, even if they're as good. And I would say Jorge Jimenez is as good as those guys. I would say Dan Moore is as good as those guys. I would say Nick Klein is as good as those guys. There are some really great artists right now, but they will never be allowed to reach those levels.
And are those
I
levels
agree
even
with you.
achievable anymore?
But I think it's a different problem. That's a
Perhaps
different
so.
problem, because you have a very severe problem with them, both Marvel and DC, on curating and elevating talent. All right. So when you give, when you're still publishing on an annual basis, Leah Williams books for things like Birds of Prey and Gotham City Sirens, that's ridiculous. That is a waste of paper. That is a waste of paper. When you're still hiring Jadzia Axelrod and some of these other like kind of fly-by-night creators to do their thing on established characters that people enjoy, that's a problem. So I don't disagree with you, but I think the problem there is not so much that they're not allowed to because they're afraid they're going to start their own image. I think you just have people inside those those companies that do not know how to manage, curate, elevate, and overall and advertise top tier talent. They just don't know how to do it.
Like Jorge Jimenez has been on Batman through 3 writers now. When he started with Tynan, went through Zdarsky, and now he's on there with Fraction. And they've never promoted the book as the Jorge Jimenez Batman book, where he's clearly the star.
Yeah, but Batman sells. The
yeah.
difference is the Batman sells.
But there was an
Batman
opportunity
could
raise
could
his
sell
profile.
better. Like this is the thing is it's like they're accepting mediocrity and saying like, well, it sells well enough. You know, it's the Vince McMahon thing. He's a millionaire who could be a billionaire. You know,
But-
DC is selling this number, but they could be selling this number.
But we don't want Batman to sell better. I mean, we always want Batman to sell better. I'm not saying they should. But why is Batman selling the way it is? But then you have, decent titles like Green Lantern, Aquaman, some of the other titles, Green Lantern Corps, maybe, depending on the time of day. And they're not even close. But they're written just as well, if in some cases not better. Josh Williamson's Superman is pretty darn good, but it's not selling nearly as well as Batman. Why?
Well, Batman
It's
has
got
the
Dan
same.
Moore on
Batman
it,
has
yeah.
the same fan base that Amazing Spider-Man has, where there's people that buy it and just put it in a bag and board and put it in their collection. They don't necessarily read it. Green Lantern doesn't have that necessarily. Aquaman doesn't have that.
If they had been going out for the last 3 or 4 years and saying, this is the definitive Batman artist, we think this is the best Batman artist that's ever lived, and had people coming out being like, Jorge Jimenez is this and that, they would have raised his profile and probably would have raised the sales on Batman. People would have started associating the book with him.
Well, let me tell you a personal anecdote that maybe feeds into this. I was told last year at a convention that the reason that Dynamite, it's not that they didn't want to reprint Sylvania and My Darkwing Duck, it's that Disney wouldn't allow them to. And the reason that they were given was because Disney doesn't like the fact that Sylvania and My Name became so entwined with Darkwing Duck, because they don't want anyone to be stars on anything. It's the brand that matters, not the creator. So that's, and they own Marvel. So of course that's feeding into Marvel as well. It's the brand that matters, not the creator.
Mm-hmm. But they could be making a lot of stars right now.
But that's exactly, to your point, that's exactly the problem. Remember when I said in the beginning, the art gives you the acquisition, the writing gives you the retention. For retention, though, to work, you need consistency, ideally over a significant period of time, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. If you're constantly changing out writers every 12 issues.
It's unfortunate that Chip Zdarsky runs in there because it does suck.
Yeah, he started strong. I liked the failsafe arc. I liked how he started. But once he got to Bat-God jumping off the moon, the whole thing fell apart and it never recovered. Now that's a problem in and of itself. Now, and the fact that Chip Zdarsky's been sort of given a stronger say in Marvel's creative future, I think is problematic considering his recent track record. But the point is, if you want retention is based on writing. If you want retention that's based on writing, which is where it comes from, you need to have writers that are A, good, and B, are on there for longer than 10 or 12 issues. You can't build a fan base that is loyal if you're cycling out writers every year or every 2 or 3 quarters. You have to have the whole thing has to work together. So you can't writers aren't interchangeable. They're just not. And you can say the same for the artists as well. Although you might like different artists because this artist is great for one reason and that artist is great for another reason, and maybe you switch them in and out and maybe you can get by with that. But if the story sucks, the story sucks. And you're not going to retain readers that are loyal, that will buy consistently, and then when the stories complete their arcs, they'll buy the trade paperback and do whatever else. It's not going to happen. You have to cultivate long-term creative relationships with both the artists and the writers. You need both, and they need to be on there longer than 10 to 12 issues.
Let's hear from the peoples. They were definitely fired up about this. Daisuke Mamamoto. The answer is writer. People remember comics for their stories most, not for the art. Art has always been the most underappreciated art form.
I mean, and I agree with that, but I also say that as somebody who everything I've ever written has been elevated by the artists I've worked with. It's like My Darkwing would not have landed as well without James Silvani. Doomface would not be as great without Renzo Rodriguez. There's just Death Rage wouldn't have been as wouldn't have been as great without Emiliano Urnola. You're elevated by the artists that you work with, hopefully, and I've been very fortunate that that's been the case with everything that I've worked on.
Yeah, I think they're equally important. How's that? Am I straddling the fence? Am I being a bitch? Am I bitching out here, Dylan?
I gave it 60-40 because I agree with Gabe's assessment. It's one is the hook and the other is the staying power.
All right, Dylan, tell me I'm bitch, man. Let's hear it.
No, I think you're right. It's comic books. It's a collaborative medium. You need both. You can't have one without the other. And to be truly great, you need both to be great.
And Daisuke says you're arguing substance versus appeal.
Or image versus substance, right? That's what I said earlier.
Well, it's not versus, it's both. The ideal situation is you want both.
Yeah, you want those two things to marry together into a nice package.
But if you're relying primarily on art, it's just the appeal. There's no substance to it if the writing isn't good. If there's no substance, people don't stick around. That's the point.
It's like The Last Jedi that had that fucking bomb-ass trailer. You're like, holy shit.
Listen, stop bringing up that movie,
like, holy crap, this is bad. Right?
Yep, same for The Force Awakens. Incredible trailer. Terrible movie.
Oh, boy. I actually liked the trailer for The Last Jedi. The movie just was not it.
A lot of people like
the team at Lucasfilm that cuts the trailers. They're not the problem.
Yeah. But I mean, all due respect to Rob Liefeld, yeah, he cites his numbers, and I think he was very fortunate to take advantage of a very specific period in time. If he tried everything that he tried then today, it just would not work out the way.
Well, he got the nostalgia bucks for his his Youngblood and his whatnot sales.
Mm-hmm.
He got people in on the people bought The Last Blood. That story is terrible, but people bought it.
Yeah, pick any even mildly not a casual or just a new reader, but just anybody with an experience in comic reading and ask them what's their favorite Youngblood story. You would have a very tough time finding anybody who could even name one, much less recall one.
What's the arc of a Youngblood storyline? What's the arc of a single character in Youngblood?
Shoot arrows and look cool.
Maybe like somebody go, Chapel hated Spawn and then shot himself to become a Spawn, and then Rob left Image and I don't know what happened after that.
Caleb says what matters is how thick-skinned and mentally stable the writer and the artist are and can keep their fetishes, politics, and murder fantasies out of the book.
That's fair.
No. Sometimes those are pretty good.
I don't know. Yeah, I read Aaron's books for his fetishes.
Yeah, exactly. Well, some of that stuff works out.
Greg Land
certainly has some kinks that he throws into X-Men.
None of my fetishes are in any of my books yet.
But I think it's a collaborative effort. You want the artist and the writer to be, basically coalescing and the artist understanding exactly what the writer's going. Because Aaron, you're a writer. Do you write exactly how every panel is supposed to look, or is the artist there to interpret the story and deliver it visually?
It depends on the artist, and it depends on what they're comfortable with. Because I've worked with some artists that are more experimental and will actually deliver something completely different and nail it. And then I have others that are like, no, tell me exactly what you want, and then I will deviate where I feel is necessary, but at least I know what you're expecting. You want somebody that can translate your story out there, I think. I want somebody who can.
Scenario.
Well, I want somebody who tells the story, first of all. Like, this needs to happen in this panel so that what is going on the page makes sense. And if you're working with an artist like a Rob, the reason he doesn't like to work with writers is because they ask him to do things. And he's like, no, I just want to draw a bunch of face close-ups on this page.
We get the Rob
gritted teeth, and then this guy punching this guy. Well, it's just Rob is the purest example of art with no writing.
Yeah, substance over or style over substance.
Mm-hmm.
But you want people to be on the same wavelength. That's how you get the great stories. I don't think you can have great story with bad art or bad writing. You need to have both working. Federico De La Casa, in the 90s, Valiant sold tons of comics because great story and lame art. At issue 8 of Spawn, Todd had to hire good writers. Great comics need them both. That's true. Image did turn around eventually once they started hiring good writers.
I have a
stories got
different
much better.
perspective on Valiant.
love
A
Valiant.
lot of in the 90s, a lot of Valiant was propped up by Wizard Magazine, because Wizard Magazine, the Seamus family owned a chain of comic book shops at the time, and they bought heavily into Valiant, so they promoted those as the hottest books on the market. So there was a lot of a speculator push towards Valiant. Now I will say that a lot of the Valiant stories were good, like Exo Manowar was one of my favorites back in the day. I liked Shadow Man, I liked Master Dark. All those characters were intriguing to me, but yeah, they had a lot of they were propped up quite a bit.
There's also some really good artists on Valiant. They just weren't on every issue.
I mean, you had Barry Windsor Smith over there.
Yes.
Enough said.
There's good artists at Valiant. Wraith X7, Byrne wasn't just the artist on him in Claremont's Ultimate or Uncanny X-Men run. He was also the co-writer, hence why he was credited as co-writer on the run.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think what's stated in that sentence, but not maybe explicitly, is that the best comic artists know how to tell story through their art. If you get somebody who likes to do like dynamic visuals and strong dramatic poses and great covers, that's fine. But the ones that really make an impact are the ones that can communicate the story through the visuals on the page. It's not the same thing. If I can do really great pencils and inks, but I don't know how to communicate the storytelling through the action or through the facial expressions or what have you, then I'm just going to be a flash in the pan at best. Art also has to be part of that storytelling process, not to just look good, but also to communicate what's happening through the visual aesthetic.
Yeah. Last week we had an amazing Spider-Man issue where the hobgoblins, like, you would have talked to Mastermind, they're right there, and then like the art showed like somebody hiding behind a tree, and it was embarrassing. It was like, that was bad visual storytelling. That wasn't the reveal that you wanted on the big moment. So yeah, but obviously John Byrne is a great writer. He wrote Man of Steel, without Claremont, and obviously he also wrote
Fantastic Four
run. So
I loved his Avengers.
She-Hulk.
His Avengers West Coast run. I liked.
Yeah, no doubt that Byrne is a great writer. And Daisuke says, I think the Enough Said comics are important here.
The Enough Said, is that the Stan comics? Is that what you're referring to? When they did like the Enough Said line, which was wasn't that the DC one where he went over and this is what I would have done with Batman. This is what I would have done with Wonder Woman.
Oh, Stanley's DC comics. Stanley Presents DC Comics.
Yeah, wasn't that called Enough Said?
Maybe. Those were weird. He doesn't have a good idea for Batman.
What about Ravage 2099?
No.
You didn't like Ravage 2099?
Probably not.
I didn't like it after he left. Like, it was him and I think Paul Ryan was the artist. And then he left, and all of a sudden they were like, and now Ravage is like a demon guy that transforms into like a were-demon. Just out of nowhere, and you were like, oh, okay.
Caleb says, but Gabe on Tom King, he writes about wanting to marry his mom.
There are a lot of things that are wrong with Tom King's writing. That's just one of them. But like I said, if you examine Tom King's writing, every one of his big brain ideas is always wrapped around a central idea that is based on a lie. And then what he does is he tries to make that somehow shocking or interesting by doing exactly that, shocking people. He'll have an abusive mommy wife. He'll kill children. He'll do a bunch of other things that are kind of like give you the shock value to get you talking. But at the end of the day, peel back the layers. Every one of his stories is based upon a lie. And that has a particular appeal to a particular kind of audience, especially audience readers who are in favor of moral relativism. I'll put it that way. And so if you like storytelling that's based on a lie and you don't like storytelling that's based on truth, you are probably a Tom King fan. And that's what makes typical DC fans upset, because they want their heroes to be in favor of truth, justice, and the American way.
Daisuke clarifies those were the comics that had no words in them, so silent issues. So that's interesting, Aaron. I think there are some great silent interludes, silent issues, if you will. Obviously, the G.I. Joe 21 is the one I think that most people think about. There's a great Ninjak silent issue, but I wouldn't want a silent series.
No. There's a great Batman and Robin one, too.
we saw recently with Skybound that not everybody can pull that off. Larry Hama is an exceptional writer and he's a great artist. I would always love when Larry would come in and do breakdowns on an issue of G.I. Joe because it just looked fantastic. And 21 is one of those ones where he laid all the art. He was writing it, but he was telling the story with his own art, so he didn't have to rely on someone else to interpret it. When you got to the Skybound stuff, some of that, was a writer relaying it to an artist, and the artist could not communicate it the way that maybe the writer wanted, or maybe the writer just didn't communicate it well. But whatever the case was, the artist was not nailing it.
Was that the Scarlet issue?
There was a couple of different ones. I think was there a Roadblock?
Jinx was like the best one, and I think there was a Roadblock one that I kind of liked, and then the other ones I didn't enjoy.
Yeah,
Andrew Cronke did the Roadblock one. It was really good.
Yeah, that one was good. There was one or two that were
there was a Beachhead one with Phil Jimenez that was not.
Or was it Phil Hester?
Or it might have been
Phil Hester. No, it was Phil Hester.
And I thought Phil Hester would nail it. I was excited when he was going to do it because I think he is a good storyteller. But for whatever reason, I did not understand that Beachhead one at all.
Yeah, it literally needed narration and dialogue for the story to make any sense.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I wouldn't want an issue with only exposition and no images. That would be a terrible comic book. Like, what am I buying? A fucking novel here? Like, get out of here. You come here to read Lord of the Rings. But you can definitely do a silent issue and they can be great. Callum says on the marketing, they tell us not to buy their stuff. Bad marketing is a huge issue. Just looking at, not just comic books, but Transformers 1, Aaron, looked like a movie that I was going to hate. I was like, wow, they took Transformers and made it really stupid for little kids. I don't want to see that movie. And it turned out it was actually really, really fun. And they just showed you all the really dumb moments.
Yeah, they showed you all the stuff that was like meant to appeal to like 5 and 6 years old.
That was the Dungeons and Dragons movie to a T. The marketing was horrific, and then the movie's actually pretty fun.
Yeah, I mean, when you got guys coming out and saying dumb things like, we love emasculating the men in this movie, and it was like, oh, that was a dumb thing to say, and then people were like, well, screw this, and then none of that's really present in the movie. Just like I think, I'm hopeful that like with Masters of the Universe, they're talking about Skeletor represents toxic masculinity. I hope that that's just a guy trying to win points on his press tour, and that's not actually something that they try to work into the film, because if they do that, it's not going to work.
Yeah. I don't know that Marvel and DC overtly on their marketing, like when you see the one page or maybe like a preview or like telling you not to read the book, but I do see their creators will let you know that they don't want you to buy their stuff, which I think is a problem, because that's probably where most of their marketing comes from. Outside of the comic books itself, because they put no money into it.
Unfortunately, most of the big two marketing is relegated to the solicits.
Yeah.
And if you've read those solicits, they're terrible. They're awful.
Kalichi Oki, they don't want to inflate the artist's ego because the artist will realize their worth and leave. Fabok leaving DC was a major hit. I miss his art. That's definitely true, but Fabok didn't become the superstar at DC he should have been. He did some really great stuff, and the things that he did were great, but he never had like that definitive Superman run or Batman run or something like that. He had definitive stories.
Yeah,
Three Jokers was great.
This is a great looking book. That's a beautiful book. I don't love the story of that one, but
no, I did not like the ending.
No. But they didn't want Fabok to be elevated, and he didn't even become a superstar, and he still left. So it's not like it's working out for him in that case.
He should have been a superstar after Darkseid, after that whole thing. That would have been, oh man, that would really.
But also,
cool
not every artist style is suited for every character or every team. I can't. I mean, in my mind, I'm trying to picture Fabok doing like an ongoing Superman, and I'm not sure that necessarily fits.
Well, I think the problem is he's slow, so it's hard for him to do an ongoing book.
Not even that, but it just, just the style he likes, the way he draws, and the way he presents his character.
I think he'd fit Superman perfectly. I think the slowness.
I think he would be. I would love to see. I think he would be a better fit for somebody like Swamp Thing. Him on Swamp Thing, I think would be a killer.
On Swamp Thing. I think Nick Klein would be amazing on Swamp Thing.
I think you could have a board of every single DC character and throw a dart and be like, yeah, that's going to look real good with Jason Fabok art.
I think you might be right. Jason Fabok is extraordinarily talented.
Yeah.
Yeah. kind of like a Gary Frank. He can do every character.
Yeah.
Do them well. But yeah, we haven't really had any artists become superstars in a long time.
Yeah.
The Iron Man. Remember, comic book fans don't shower. Oh no. I showered last month.
I showered for this show, and you guys can't even smell me.
Yeah.
Well, the ones that go to
Jim.
Emerald City Comic Con, that's probably true for most of them.
Well, yeah.
Not
Those
Dylan.
Seattle.
Dylan smells
Stinkers.
delightful.
I legit don't shower that much. I'll admit that.
Is that why the kids made you buy a new wok?
Probably.
You don't even shower.
But
Get out of
here's
here.
the thing, though. I get a bad rap from them as well because I really like, you know how they'll say like they'll have a rich guy, right? And he'll have the same suit. I kind of do that with like a hoodie and shorts. I have a lot of the same kind of clothing. It's not as fancy, but you know, I have
Do you remember? Well, you remember obviously, but I don't think the panel remembers. But Jim didn't have a washer dryer for like 8 months.
Mm.
And he just kept going to Target and buying new packs of white t-shirts.
Yeah, pack of white t-shirts and like 5 shorts each like week. So I have when at one point my wife came home and she's like, I'm gonna do this wash. So she went and it legit was 3 loads of wash of just white t-shirts. There was over 100 of them. So many. So now if you go around our house, if anything whatever, if somebody grabs a t-shirt and they're using it to wipe things down. But even worse than that, before that, at one point we had a problem with our washer and dryer, and I was actually cleaning my clothes in the bathtub. I was going. I didn't have a washboard, but I was just cleaning my stuff.
That's how my in-laws used to do it when I first moved here.
Yeah,
See my mother-in-law out there with the washboard going it down.
Yeah.
We got her a washer.
Jeff, did we ignore poor Jeff? We haven't heard from
No,
Jeff.
Jeff has something going
some
on right
issues.
now
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
that he's taking care of. He might be able to make it back, but I'm not expecting it. It sounds like he's got some real troubles. HH at Sigma Comics, excellent discussion, great takes from all. Hit like and support the great channel. Thinking Critical does more for comics than the big two combined. Stay strong, Gabe. Man.
Thank you, sir.
Well, thank you very much for the compliments. Very
Appreciate you.
nice. Man.
I love
Everybody's
HH.
loving the return of Sus Gabe. I don't get it. I thought he was the villain of the channel.
No, you know what, Gabe? You will like it. I saw one comment where they said Sus Gabe throwing out some takes right now that aren't very
Sus
sus.
no more. Hey, what is we making a fucking comic book here? The redemption of Gabe?
Yeah.
I
This
did
is
comment
the-
that Gabe's 100% full of bullshit, but that's fine. I
did.
had to even.
I liked it. I gave it a heart.
If,
It's Gabe Rebirth right now.
oh my goodness! If anybody spends just $1 a month, just only $1 a month, they can be part of the Weird Science Slack community. And you should see what they say about me in private. Forget about what they say about me in public.
That's one of the segments on the 100 Rap podcast. Is
Oh my God.
Jim just
a
reading
sus
off all
comment. A
sus
sus comment about Gabe is actually that he said that the Cincinnati chili just tastes like regular chili on spaghetti, which is not true. That is completely sus.
That is completely true. That is 100% true.
ridiculous.
I'm going to piggyback off something AL said in the chat, which is Sully's coming in like the Somali captain in that Tom Hanks movie, going, "I am the sus one now."
Yeah, he's number one. Jay Brown at Wes is my Valentine. Oh, sweet. Multiple Valentines this year. Batman Hush 2 versus All-Star Batman and Robin. Great art, bad writing. One finishes, the other is forgotten in history. Who you got? So I think this one is relatively simple. Obviously, they both have Jim Lee art, and I think All-Star Batman and Robin has better Jim Lee art. But I also think the writing in All-Star Batman and Robin from Frank Miller is literally repugnant. Which, while I think the Jeff Loeb Hush 2 writing is bad, doesn't get anywhere as kind of repellent to me, at least, as All-Star Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
So I think Hush 2 lives to see another day.
But I like All-Star Batman Robin better because it's so bad. You have to be in the right mindset for it. It's so terrible. But if you have the right mindset,
You got to be on edibles.
It is great because
That's
it's so
crazy.
bad. Like Robin calling the Batmobile gay and Batman getting genuinely upset about it and then be like, "What are you retarded?" It's so good.
But that also shows you again, if you have really, really bad art, it kind of disappears. You have that bad writing and it lives on just because it's so bad. So
I mean, I find All Star more entertaining than I find Absolute Batman, just because it is so over the top. It's over the top in a ridiculous way that's hilarious.
Yeah, he never punted a baby into the ocean.
Yeah, I mean, I think
He
I
just
think
forced
Absolute's-
Robin to eat rats and called him
Yeah.
retarded.
Yeah, Tom King
Absolute-
only does that with Wonder Woman now.
Yeah, well, he only does it with women. Only women can eat the rats because he's emasculated.
Yeah. So there you go. What do you think, Gabe? You got to pick one. Is it Hush 2 that lives on forever, or All-Star Batman and Robin?
I think All-Star Batman and Robin is the one that lives on forever, but it lives on in infamy.
Yeah. Yeah, but Hush 2 sits next to Hush, in the bookstore. People
Hush
pick it
2
up
will
not
be
realizing
forgotten.
it's bad.
Hush 2
Well, it's gonna
is
be a
dustbin, quarter bin type fodder. I think it'll look great, and then nobody will even care or remember.
It's kind of already forgotten because it's not coming out.
One more issue.
One more issue coming in 2028, eventually.
Someone in the chat said earlier, Winds of Winter will be out before Hush 2.
No, I was just trying to think of the through line between how we got from All-Star Batman and Robin to Frank Miller drawing Wolverine like he was some sort of crude graffiti sketch on the back of a napkin for some of his recent variant covers. The downfall.
Well, he's not in good health. You can tell.
He's not.
It's in the writing,
Yeah.
or in the art that you can see it's not going well for him. But I definitely hope that he's feeling well.
He's getting a paycheck. I think that's I wish that they had done something similar for Peter David when he needed help, but they couldn't be bothered. So at least they're throwing Frank some work, and he's got some money coming in.
Wraith X7. Speaking of Larry Hama, I highly recommend that you read his new superhero comic book from Boom that he co-created with the late M.D. Bright called The Center Holds.
Ooh, it's tough.
Did that one come out
It's tough
this
because
week?
I would have to buy a Boom book.
Yeah, it did come out this week. I had planned to read that one, and I forgot about it. So thank you very much for reminding me, because I wanted to check it out. Because what Larry is doing in A Real American Hero is really inspired stuff.
I think I'm going to let my love of Larry trump my distaste for Boom, so I will pick that up.
Good call. And thank you for the reminder. I guess it's time to start talking about some comic book recommendations. This was, in fact, a very strong week, unless you're a Marvel fan. And then even then, there's at least one book to recommend. So new good books all around. Gabe, thank you so much for returning. It's been a while. I'm glad things are looking up for you and the family.
Appreciate it.
Are there any videos or articles that you got out right now that people need to know about?
Well, yeah, sure. Of course. First, the shameless plugs, obviously. Go to Weird Science Marvel Comics and Weird Science DC Comics for all our reviews on those particular publishers. For everything else, which is Titan, Zenoscope, Dynamite, everybody in between, go to Comical Opinions. Also, one of my first full-length novels is now out on Amazon, The Revelation Cycle. So if you go to Amazon and just search The Revelation Cycle, you could pick up that novel there.
All right.
Also,
is it about a woman who used to be a sex worker, but now has gone to night school and is now a full-fledged attorney, and she's going to take down the patrarchy?
no, it's not.
Oh,
that's not
it's
even
different
close.
then. It
Not
ain't the
even
same
close.
thing as everybody else.
It's about war between factions of angels. If that's your kind of urban fantasy cup of tea, please go for it, and happy to have you along. Now, as far as recommendations go, so here we go. I'm going to recommend Transformers number 29. Good fight, good battle. I'm interested to see what is going on with Megatron, because it appears he's not quite himself, and there might be something interesting there. So I want to see what happens there. Geiger 21, I thought was pretty strong. Not the best of the series, but pretty good. And so if you like what's going on with Ghost Machine, even though they can't seem to stick to a very consistent schedule, I'd recommend picking that up. I did like also G.I. Joe Real American Hero number 325. I believe that is the introduction of a new Joe called Downrange, who is a sniper. It was it was sort of like a zones, not zone.
So RC wasn't a new character for some reason. I thought
One of
that
them was a new
new.
character. I thought it was Downrange that was the new character. Maybe I could be wrong about that.
Downrange is a new character.
Okay, Downrange, which is the sniper character, and it was all about basically drone warfare, but it was pretty gripping, and I liked it quite a bit. I'm going to recommend The Phantom number 5, which was a solid end to a solid arc for Mad Cave Studios. If you like those classic pulp characters, and remember, The Phantom was the first character to wear spandex before Superman. So if you want a trivia question, that's the answer, the Phantom. I am going to recommend Absolute Wonder Woman, the annual special. The art is fantastic. The story is pretty darn good. I'm not quite thrilled with the resolution, but it was pretty solid. I'm also going to recommend Aquaman number 14 because I think I'm just still enjoying that series overall. Even though it is a tie-in and it's very mirror-centric, I think it was pretty decent. And for Marvel, I will tentatively recommend Mark Spector Moon Knight number 1, simply because it was a fairly decently written story, even though it is not a good jumping on point. So there you go.
Well, very good. And Jim, you are the Sultan, the man behind Weird Science Comics, the man behind his own empire. You've got dirty songs. What do you need to be promoting before you recommend some books?
Nothing. Just go to the sites and go if you like.
I thought you wrote a song about me and the Five Knuckle Shuffle that you put on your YouTube channel.
No, I had that before because I actually knew what that meant. Just like if you end up using a term that you think is like a whatever, and I've already written a song on it, then you know that there's issues. But yeah, you can go to Sus Records and a bunch of songs. I also have a live stream every Saturday night. It's like a dance party where we just go through songs and stuff like that. And
you eat rice?
Unfortunately, people talk about Star Trek and things in the comments. But yeah, it's pretty fun. But other than that, just the regular stuff. Just the stuff. Go to Comical Opinions, read Gabe's stuff. So then you'll know why we make fun of them. You got to have your, your due diligence to know that.
For $1 a month, you can call Gabe Sus.
Yeah, you can. That should be just the regular thing. Like that'll be a new tier on our Patreon. $1 gets you to just berate Gabe to your heart's content.
Or you can be like Drunk Simon and be contrarian to every single viewpoint.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh yeah. There you could join in and just anything Gabe says, there's like 3 people who will immediately just say the opposite just because it's Gabe. And it makes me laugh. I just sit back and laugh. I rarely comment myself. So but as far as recommendations, I'll just go with Batman and Robin. I thought it was really good, like really, really good. And hopefully it actually, like the idea that there's not going to be a Batman and Robin book right after. I like the idea that, they don't just hire some rando, whatever, but it really was the deal where I'm like, man, why couldn't he just keep writing this? Because it's so good. It gets the Damian stuff. And if you did they should have given a number 1 after Joshua Williamson left because of the tone shift and whatever. And if you did like the Joshua Williamson stuff, Philip Kenny Johnson's a lot better and ended up really nailing it and really showed that he knows the Batman and Robin dynamic. So I suggest that.
Jim, I thought for sure Sirens Love Hurts number 1 by Teenie Howard was going to make your list.
Here's the thing. I almost read it. And I actually asked Wes when we recorded the 109. I'm like, did you read it? He started laughing.
I read it. I reviewed it with Doc.
Yeah,
it'll be up on
he
Monday.
said it. So I said, I might have to read it then. He read it after the fact though. But yeah.
Even I wouldn't touch that one.
Man.
Did anyone read Jar Jar though?
Teenie Howard's bad, but it can't be as bad.
I read half of Jar Jar.
You ended up having.
I read the whole thing. It was
really, it was bad.
It was really bad. I was super disappointed because I was like, if I would like one Star Wars book to be awesome, for no reason, I wanted it to be Jar Jar.
Ask Wes exactly what I said on the Hot or Not.
In Jim's headcanon, he thought Star Wars Jar Jar was going to be this amazing book where they redeemed the character.
Exactly.
I thought made him everything that he wasn't in the movies. It was going to be
the greatest thing ever. And I was going to it would be the funniest thing. And the minute I opened up, also it had that Ahmad Best. So I'm like, you couldn't possibly have Misa this and Okie Dokie, whatever. The minute you open the book, it's right. Yeah. Oh, well.
Misa lost.
Misa
looking for
I
friends.
even said to Wes the idea that we were talking about, thought that Jar Jar was going to be there and like, Misa clumsy. And then everybody leaves the room. And then he reveals that he's like, I just play that character because they, pity me then. They're all assholes. Like he was like this cool guy who was faking it the whole time. They didn't do it.
Well, they should have done a Usual Suspects Kaiser Soze reveal.
Yeah. The Sith Lord, fan theory about Jar Jar.
Yeah.
That he was actually working with Palpatine
to
bring down the Republic.
I want it to be he's just the smartest guy and he knows this is just the way to get his way. It would have been so funny.
Yeah.
So funny. Then he'd yell chicken pot pie out of nowhere. That'd be hilarious.
All right, Sparrow, you got any comic books or toys you want to recommend this week? I know you're
Yeah, I mean,
toy guy.
there's a lot of fun stuff. I mean, usually Dylan goes first and he names everything that I like. So I'm just like, well. But yeah, I'm going to piggyback on Transformers 29. Geiger 21 is out this week. Obviously, my book of the week is A Real American Hero. I liked it a lot more than you did, Wes. I thought it was great. I'm just loving what Larry's doing and like the rejuvenation of his spirit on this book. And the Mooneyham art is great. Like I saw that Chris Mooneyham is going to be at Joe Fest. I've never gone to Joe Fest, and I was like, should I go to Joe Fest?
You've never been to Joe Fest.
I've never been to Joe Fest. It's like in Tennessee or something. Yeah, I'm not going to Tennessee.
What the fuck's wrong? Oh.
No, I got nothing against it. I've just never been.
Bunch of retards in Tennessee.
Bunch of Gomer piles.
My mom's from Tennessee.
History will prove that Mooneyham was the perfect pick for that title.
Yeah, no, it absolutely will. So there's a lot of good comics out this week, believe it or not. Jar Jar's not one of them, but I really wanted it to be like Jim. Toy wise, I'm going to recommend. I got this week. This is Mr. Zass from McFarlane Toys. Like all McFarlane toys, his legs are too long. I'm going to have to replace them. But I was just excited that someone finally made a Victor Zass that is based on the Norm Brayfogle art. Not the weird skinhead Mr. Zass, not the weird, Arkham Mr. Zass with the scars on his head, but the weird Norm Brayfogle first appearance Mr. Zass with are those sunglasses? Are those his eyes? What are they? Nobody knows. That's the one that I wanted. So I picked that.
I love Aaron's eugenics. Like his legs are too long. I'm going to have to replace them.
Yeah.
It's like
I thought it was Big Papa Pump.
They're too damn long. All the McFarlane figures have these long ass legs that makes them way too tall, and they all look gangly.
You got any more toys, Aaron?
No,
I got you the Solo, dude.
No, that was it.
Oh. Very
I'm all
good.
done.
And last but not least, Dylan, I'm assuming you're going to be recommending some books.
Yeah, it's a big week. DCKO number 4, still pretty good. Still enjoying it. Aquaman number 14, not the greatest issue, but I still liked it. Batman Robin number 30, the end of Philip Kennedy Johnson's run, and it was great. And if you have not read it, you should check it out. Alien vs. Captain America number 4. This series was surprisingly really fun. Had some good art too, so that was good. The Rockefellers number 12. I'm still enjoying what's going on with Rockefellers. Geiger number 21. G.I. Joe Real American Hero number 325. Very brutal issue. I enjoyed it a lot. And if you've watched any of that combat footage of like the Ukraine-Russia war, there's a lot of that in here. It's like it's cool to realize that Larry Hama is keeping his ear to the ground on that as well. It's like, wow, that's he's definitely paying attention. And then Deadly Tales of the Gunslinger number 13. You called me Audio Western. Still pretty good. I'm enjoying it.
Very good. You got any big videos or streams that you're going to be doing?
I did a video this week talking all about DCKO number 4 and breaking it down, giving my thoughts. So yeah, that's up if you want to check that out.
Very nice. And we will not be hearing from Jeff Hicks. Unfortunately, something did happen during the stream, and he's trying to settle it out. But if you've got some thoughts or prayers or just good vibes to send his way, he could probably use them right now. Don't think it's going to be a big deal, but hopefully everything works out on his end. I want to wish everybody a happy Valentine's Day. Hopefully you're with your sweetheart and you have a nice time. And that'll be doing it. That's it. No more football.